So you want to go into NFL draft? Wait, when is the draft? It's the 7th?
It's the last week of April.
Oh, last week of
Thursday,
April.
Friday,
Right.
Saturday.
Yeah, something like that.
So we got a lot of time to get.
I'm not even gonna watch the first day. The Seahawks literally have 3 draft.
Yeah, you're
picks.
a Seahawks fan, right?
Yeah, yeah. The
I have bad news for you.
Why?
Well, I mean, we could do draft first, but then we have other things to talk about.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
Does it have to do with Russ getting traded?
Pete Carroll.
Oh, I think he's a terrible coach.
I think he's on the hot seat.
Oh, he is absolutely
Because just the talks of Russ, Russ. I'm sorry, he's a top 3 quarterback every single year.
Yeah, every
single year.
And he's done it with very little hope.
Was Doug Baldwin never a top 10 wide receiver?
No. I think he had one season where he broke 1,000 yards.
Yeah. What? DK Metcalf is a good wide receiver.
Yeah, he's up and coming.
He's still very young and still very raw.
Exactly.
I'm a Cowboys fan, and this year when they played each other, DK had that one big touchdown, and our cornerback ran up, smacked it.
Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? You can get to the corner. You can get beat every time, but if you play that hard 100%, dude, I love you. And DK, I'm like, that looks really bad on you. Because, you finessed him, you outran him, but then you got way too cocky.
The immaturity showed. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that goes back into the NFL draft. Players who are, ready, who don't need much coaching, who are, mentally there, I love those players.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I also like the Seahawks, especially earlier in Russell Wilson's career, were very good at taking riskier players, and they were able to especially with personality, bad personality traits, say in college they got arrested once or something. The Seahawks were able to get those players and make the best out of them, which was good because you can get a 3rd round.
Players want to play for Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
it was a good culture.
That's the one thing I have to give credit to Pete Carroll for, is he's very good with the culture and the locker room. But he's been I think he's been getting carried by Russell Wilson the last 5 or 6 seasons.
And Russell has never had a good offensive line.
I know, never.
If really ignoring the whole pieces statement, if you gave him a good line, forget about it.
Yeah,
he would be the Patrick Mahomes level.
Yeah,
he'd be that $45 million a year quarterback.
Yep.
Because Russ does it all. He can throw any type of ball. He can.
He has the best deep ball in the league by far.
He really does, and it's a pretty throw too. That matters too,
because how high it goes, and then
it looks like a punt.
Yeah, it does,
which is impressive. But
I love Russell Wilson.
I do too.
I think he's a great quarterback right now. He's definitely in my top 3 active right now.
Absolutely.
So do we want to go into the draft?
Yeah.
Do you want to go the first 10, or you probably have the whole second round, 3rd round?
I got notes of what we want to talk about. If we want to do a mock draft, we can go through that, but that might take a while.
Okay.
But I wrote down my top 10 players, not quarterback, running back, my top 10 sleepers, names to know, players I don't like, best player comps, safest picks, stuff like that. I'll dive into anything because I've done millions of mock drafts. Whenever I get bored, especially being out with this knee injury, I need to kill time.
Well, you seem like the expert out of all of us in this, so if you want to go ahead and do you.
I'll just start reading off. I'll go into categories and break it down, and then maybe we could do a small, little quick mock.
Yeah.
Top 10 players, not quarterback or running back, because quarterback and running back, the top 4 quarterbacks are obvious. Yeah. It's Trevor Lawrence, it's Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. Yep. That's it. Maybe Mac Jones if you want to throw him in there. Running backs, it's Najee Harris and Travis Etienne. They're both going to be really good potential first-round draft picks, but running back
is one of those positions, in my opinion, where it doesn't really matter your talent, because that position is so dependent on an offensive line.
Exactly.
Saquon Barkley is probably the best running back talent in the NFL, but that Giants offensive line is bad. So
the first team to actually show you go as far as your line is the Cowboys, because that 2014 year, it was DeMarco Murray, and they ran it down the league.
Yep.
He left.
They never did anything else.
They got Darren McFadden, who was a bust, a certified bust.
And he had his first 1,000-yard season.
Without Romo.
He
had no quarterback, so they're playing 8 men in a box, and he still had 1,000 yards.
You know another team that's an example of that? Steelers.
Yeah.
Steelers, Le'Veon Bell, he was as good as I think he's a good running back. He was good at reading the open gaps and everything, but he was not as good as he looked.
Look at him on the Chiefs. He never was the same.
If you just if you just focus on on Le'Veon Bell, out of all the other skilled players, I don't think that Le'Veon Bell can perform. I think there needs to be more.
He needs help.
Yeah,
that's why when he was sitting out and all that, I thought he was the biggest idiot. He had it made. He could have gone
running
down.
back. Your career clock is only like
and he just kept fucking up too.
Yeah. He could have gone down as probably one of the greatest running backs if he stayed on the Steelers.
He was like the first running back to really do it all. Before Alvin Kamara, before Zeke, before. Christian McCaffrey, It was Le'Veon Bell. He was that trendsetter, and then kind of just that year
he dropped off. Yeah,
that year
it just killed him. And
he also didn't get paid the same either, so he really screwed himself.
Yeah, he did. Teams didn't want to be around him because he clearly wasn't in it for the team. He was in it for the money. But even James Conner, I think is gonna go to a different team. I don't think he's gonna do anything.
No, and because he's been injury plagued the past 2-3 years. He had one good year.
His rookie year,
Yeah, and then that's it.
Yep.
But so I named the quarterbacks, I named the running backs. I'm gonna dive into some players and their position. You have Penei Sewell, the left tackle out of Oregon.
Yep.
He's an athletic freak.
Okay. He's huge too.
He got a Heisman vote as a left tackle.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
And it's only one vote, but still, he got a Heisman vote.
Where do you think he's gonna go?
Dolphins or Bengals.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because
Bengals.
of that trade yesterday, that solidified quarterbacks are probably going 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So the Bengals, whoever they can either choose Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell, and then whoever they choose the scraps will go to the Dolphins.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you think it's gonna be a 3 quarterback back to back?
I think
it's gonna be 4.
You think it's gonna be 4?
Yeah.
Because actually, when
was the last time that happened?
It was I think it's gonna be 3 because Atlanta just extended Matt Ryan or fixed Matt Ryan's contract.
Yeah.
So it's going to be he gets.
You don't think they're going to get someone to train behind him though?
Yeah, but they just restructured so they can't cut him. So you're going to pay him a ton of money to sit on the bench.
I don't think they'll sit him, but I think they want to do like Packers with Aaron Rodgers, how he they get someone early and have him develop.
I mean, they should do that.
Needs some work though.
It does.
They need. I really think Atlanta's going to be like, you know what? We have 2 years left at Matty Ice.
Yeah.
Who's still
yeah.
I think they're going to go all in. I think they're gonna get pieces to help him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised with that. But I could see knowing how Atlanta needs a defense.
I think
maybe they'll trade back then.
Maybe.
I think step 1 is a trade back.
Yeah.
I think step 2 is my player number 2, Kyle Pitts, the tight end out of Florida.
I wish the Seahawks had an early draft pick. He is a freak.
Oh, yeah,
he's 6'6" and ran a 4.34.
Oh, is that the videos that you've been showing me?
Yeah, I sent.
So there's no combine. It's all pro days, and there's scientific studies that the pro days are a tenth of a second faster.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, I usually have good comp picks or pro comparison picks, and I don't have one for Kyle Pitts because he can do it all. He runs like wide receiver, but he plays like a tight end. He bodies you like Gronk would.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think Atlanta could totally get him. I think he would help. Julio's definitely declining.
That would be.
I love Julio. I think he's one of the best. His days are coming.
He's always been injury prone too. So the older he gets,
it's worse. And Calvin Ridley's good, but he's not. He's good for getting the good routes, the good yak. Kyle Pitts is your jump ball guy.
Yep.
The mismatch.
That could be a scary offense. Mm-hmm. I mean, it already should have been a scary offense.
And that's not including Julio Jones's ability.
Yeah.
So after Pitts, I have Jalen Waddle, the small wide receiver who's really fast from Alabama.
Yeah.
He's a playmaker. Caleb Farley, the corner. I made this list before his news broke that he got hurt.
Okay.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, he tore his ACL. 2 years ago, he hurt his back. This year, he's getting another back surgery. So
that's always scary to me.
But he's 6'2" or 6'3" and runs really fast, and he plays very, very well.
Yeah.
So it's on paper, he's everything you want.
Mm-hmm.
Injury history kind of scares me. 5, I have Rashawn Slater, the tackle out of Northwestern. He owned Chase Young during his collegiate career. He just shut him down. Chase Young, the number 2 draft pick, could not beat him at all. I think Rashawn can play either guard, maybe center, but tackle. There's concerns about his height. He's 6'4", and 6'4" as a tackle is not ideal, but if you can play your position, let him play.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Patrick Surtain. I was mentioning that I like good instinct in players. That's him.
Yeah.
He's NFL ready. You could play him right now. He's cornerback number 1 on most teams.
Do you think he might be going to the Cowboys?
I pray. I pray because we have our corner is Trayvon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. He's good. A little bit slow, but he plays hard. I like him a lot. He's cornerback too. Patrick Surtain, that defense goes from a joke to respectable with Surtain because Surtain plays very, very well. Like he locks you down, but he can locate the ball well. He's physical enough. He knows when the receiver's going to break. He knows he's very, very intelligent. And then his pro day was very impressive. Yeah. He ran like
Alabama secondaries, I think, are a good
and
way
having
to go
two of them on the same team.
Yeah,
that's like a brotherhood there. And that it's one thing. Two free agents on a team, 2 different draft picks on a team.
But you get the same.
They're chemistry together.
They're a year apart. They played together. Yeah.
Yep.
Jalen Phillips, the defensive end out of Miami, he is a freak of nature.
Mm-hmm.
He just gets a lot of concussions where he actually retired for a bit because of so many concussions. But
wait, who is this?
Jalen Phillips, the defensive end out of Miami. Number 8, I have Jamar Chase, the wide receiver out of LSU, the guy who he didn't play this year, but last year with LSU and Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson, they tore up the league.
Yeah,
they were really good, and he's really good. Number 9, I have Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner from Alabama.
He makes me nervous, his size.
I'm afraid of that, but you know who else was that size?
Yeah.
Chad Johnson.
Oh, really?
Chad Johnson was that size. And Chad Johnson even tweeted saying, we're the same size. Like, don't worry about, if you have it, that's all that matters.
I think he's a great route runner. I think he has
I love his hands.
His catching ability, too.
I love his hands. Oh, it's like Odell Beckham-style hands.
It just makes me nervous because, you go from playing in college to playing with NFL players, one hit, even in the national championship, didn't he break his hand or something?
No, what did he do? No, that's Jalen Waddle, his teammate.
He was playing with a broken hand.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
he's kind of he had the explosive first half, and then it kind of just
because he broke his hand or something like that.
The way the NFL is, it's not like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed are around destroying people.
It's a lot smaller.
You can't do that anymore. You get flagged for that.
Yeah.
So he's kind of protected.
I totally see smaller guys too now because they're looking for more speed on defense.
Like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's a twig.
Yeah.
He just outruns people. Now, will Smith outrun people? No, but you don't have to if you run crisp routes.
Nope.
If you know when to break, if you know.
It's like Jerry Rice and Steve Largent. They weren't the fastest, but they just perfected the route running ability.
That's the biggest thing. If you can run a good route, it doesn't really matter how fast you are. Look at Larry Fitzgerald. He's old. He has concrete feet.
Yeah.
I mean, his hands are good, but he still runs good routes.
He does.
That's why tight ends ignoring today's tight ends, but guys like Jason Witten, Zach Ertz, they're not freak of athletes, but they run good routes. They know where to get open.
Antonio Gates was the same way.
They know exactly where Dallas Clark. They know exactly where to get open, and that's all that matters. If you're open, the quarterback sees you in a zone defense. Game over.
Absolutely.
And then my last guy, number 10, Micah Parsons, the linebacker at Penn State.
Okay.
He just ran a 4.35 as a 6'5" linebacker.
That's impressive.
Really impressive. Again, they add another tenth of a second, but still, it's a linebacker running as fast as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
250, 60 pounds, 6'5". It's like locomotivating you.
Yeah.
Today's NFL isn't the same like back then. Back then, Ray Lewis, same size, same weight, wasn't running a 4.3.
No.
Wasn't running a 4.4.
It wasn't
running a 4.5.
Because it just keeps getting more and more pass happy, the NFL, which I like. I think it's more exciting. But before it was more balanced, a little bit more run heavy. So you needed guys like Ray Allen for the run game. But now they're looking to draft linebackers like Deion Jones. Yeah. Yep.
Deion Jones. Speed. Yep. The guy from Tampa Bay, Devin White. Guys, basically running backs playing, and that's what it is. Most of these linebackers were running backs.
Yeah.
Sean Lee was a running back for a little bit, and then they converted him to the linebacker because maybe he wasn't that fast, but he still was fast.
Do you have any edge rushers in that list?
Yeah, I have Jalen Phillips.
Okay.
He's a good edge rusher I like. It's just
because I think the Falcons.
But he's not going to go top 3. He's going to go in the 20s because he had 4 concussions in 3 years. At the point where he transferred from UCLA, who basically told him, "Don't play, you're done. Retire from college," and he did. Then Miami's different, and they're like, "Come on down, come play." And he's good, but it's the concussions, and that's scary.
Isn't there something where if you experience a certain amount of concussions in your career, you have to retire? I think that's why Luke Kuechly retired so young because I think he was one concussion away from being forced to retire.
I think it's that. And I think it's self-awareness. There's years ago, 6-7 years ago, Chris Borland from San Francisco played 1 year, rookie, really good. I think he made that Pro Bowl or came close, really good. Called it quits. He got 2 concussions. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it. Not worth it.
Nope.
Get your pay and leave. Andrew Luck did it.
Yeah,
that wasn't concussions, but injuries, same sort of thing. You know, it's crazy.
And you don't want the NFL to be liable, with all that stuff.
Well, I think that's why they put a limit on concussions, because they can just keep getting sued for CTE.
Yeah. And going a little bit deeper into that, it's all about like all these players who are like having CTE. Other players believe it's because of all the concussions, which is like true, but like also the opioids they take. Yeah. So that's why all these players are like pro marijuana.
Because I'm gonna need to change the battery on this one.
That's fine.
But yeah, keep going if you want.
All right, so I have a couple of just missed out players. I have Tevin Jenkins, the right tackle from Oklahoma State. Now, he's a right tackle, so he won't be drafted that high. Yeah. But you could...
He's probably the best right tackle.
He's really good, and he has... My favorite trait for NFL linemen is that nasty factor, and he has that. Like, he's... your quarterback gets a late hit, and he's coming up, picking you up, and then punching the other guy in the face. Like, only certain guys have that. I like that about him. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the linebacker out of Notre Dame, more coverage guy. Yeah. But he can play strong safety like in the box. I like him a lot. He's a bit smaller, but like he hits hard. He runs fast. So does the height really matter? He covers well, and he played in he played in really big school. Yeah. Notre Dame's known
That's
for
one
being...
of the biggest things I look for too. If you're going, like, I love Alabama linemen.
Yeah.
Because you're going up against the best.
Yeah. The level of competition, like, it's bad to say, but like I call it the small school syndrome. Like certain guys will be drafted later on, first round talent, but they played in a D2
small school, so it's risky because you don't know if they were as good as they were because they weren't going up against players that are going.
Like Carson Wentz was truly the groundbreaker in that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
And looking back on it, I mean, look at him now. He's not as good, so I guess teams are second guessing. Hold on.
I still blame the Eagles for that more so than him.
They screwed him.
They did.
The front office just never really helped him. They never saw what he needed.
Yeah.
They just said, "Oh, you're a good player on this team. Come join." Yeah. No, it's all about scheme fit. It's all about the culture, the mentality. Let's see. I have the wide receiver out of Minnesota, Rashad Bateman. He's very good. Yeah. He's a beast, but he went to Minnesota, which not a lot of people really pay attention to. If you look at his numbers, he's really good. Yeah. And then my last guy who just missed out is Nick Bolton, another linebacker. Drop back in the coverage, hits, goal line stops. He does it all. A little bit small, but still. He's a player. He's a dog. That's what I want. Yep. I think all those guys I just listed are first-round talents, easily.
And then what's your next list?
My top sleepers. I'm just going to go quickly through this. I want a little description of why not. Kelvin Joseph, the cornerback out of Kentucky, very good player. Bad mentality. Okay. Very bad. It got to the point where in their Kentucky's bowl game this year, he didn't play, and the coaches was like, "Yeah, he's not playing." Like they were not happy, but like, yeah, there's no real reason he's just not playing, which is, kind of alarming. Like, why don't you want your good corner to play?
Well, wait, this was just this year. I mean, do you think that
he could have sat out? He could have sat out just because he knew he was going to get drafted. Didn't want to risk it unnecessary.
But he's not even he wasn't even like on big boards. Like he's not a first round draft pick. He was later on. Yeah. So like,
I understand it when it's like a Trevor Lawrence. Like it makes that makes sense.
But he wasn't even. He's still not a first rounder. Before, like nobody knew his name until you started watching Kentucky tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another Kentucky player, Jamin Davis. Jamin, don't know how to say it. Linebacker. Fred Warner 2.0 from the linebacker from the 49ers. Does it all. Plays good.
I think it's always funny, like when you can't pronounce like someone's name, like when it was Brett Favre, like people were like, Favre. "Oh, Brett Favre," and then he ends up being like top 10 greatest quarterbacks of all time.
And you just call by his last name, Favre.
Yeah, exactly. But like it's gonna be weird if he becomes like somebody and you're like, you don't even know.
The true stutter after me.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have Jabril Cox, a linebacker. He's Deion Jones 2.0. He's okay in the run game, or like tackling for the run.
Definitely
good
more
dropping
back
in the coverage. Yeah. Tackle out of Cincinnati, James Hudson, like him a lot.
Brendan, Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's Cincinnati.
A bit smaller school, so it's going to hurt his stock a little bit.
Yeah, Brendan thought that Cincinnati should have been ranked higher.
Yeah.
I don't.
Their quarterback's pretty good. I think this year's a big year for them.
Oh well, yeah, Desmond Ritter. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I think he's going to do very well this next season.
Cincinnati and UCF, I think.
UCF.
UCF
not
proved
this year,
though. UCF proved though that a school like Cincinnati, to like them also in the division they're in, you'll never be ranked in the playoffs.
Okay. Here's my thing.
You have to go like
Cincinnati went or UCF went 2 years in a row or 2.5 seasons of going undefeated. Yeah, they still didn't make it. The highest they got was 8.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to think about the opt-outs of teams right now, and
that's a major factor.
Yeah,
I mean, their quarterback, UCF's quarterback at that time, Mackenzie Milton, destroyed his knee. And they weren't the same. They still won games. They still were a good team. But, they didn't have their star quarterback. Yeah. So you can't really call them a top 5, top 4 team without your star quarterback.
Yeah. I just, my whole thing was, it wasn't that the Cincinnati should have been ranked higher or lower. I don't know. But, what would you say higher?
What were they ranked this year?
They were 9, I believe.
Yeah, you were saying that they should have been.
They should have been above. I don't know, because Florida had 2 or 3 losses, but they were against top 4 teams.
Yeah,
and they weren't blowout losses. They were
really close.
Wasn't it? Not,
but my whole thing.
The shoe game, the shoe game where the one corner got a 15-yard flag because that was if he didn't throw the shoe, they would have won the game against LSU. He threw the shoe, which cost them. They lost the game because they got a game-winning field goal. So it's Florida lost in kind of weird ways, but they were a good team.
They were a good team.
But my whole thing was Ohio State.
Yeah, that's a load of crap.
6-0, being 6-0, and then being top. I mean, they
almost lost to Indiana too.
Oh
so
yeah,
in one of their games, they almost lost.
That's right.
And Justin Fields, love him as a prospect, looked trash.
Yeah, but I think they proved in the playoffs why they deserve to be there.
I mean, but that was in the playoffs, of course.
But that's what they base it off of. They base it off of the difficulty of schedule, and then they also base it off of the talent you have on the team and who they think is going to be real competition in the playoffs.
The Big 12, right? No, Big 10 was a weak.
Yeah, it was weak this year.
Rutgers almost beat Michigan.
Yeah,
and they beat Michigan
Rutgers
State.
beat Michigan State their first week, which is funny.
They are on the up and coming, and I'll speak from New Jersey. Let's go!
Yeah.
I know you went to Cincinnati, so okay.
Well, no, all my family went to Rutgers, so they're big Rutgers
I want them
fans.
to do well because
I want Rutgers to do well.
There's no with the Giants being trash, the Jets being trash, the Knicks. Besides the Yankees and maybe Rangers, there's not really good.
You know what's
and there's
crazy
no good college football team up here at all. No. Boston College being the closest.
Yeah, no.
Rutgers clearly needs to do better with scouting.
Well, they are.
Now they're starting to. That's what it was though, because it's crazy because some of the best high school, private high school football teams are New Jersey. Yeah.
And
somehow they can't get them to go right to Rutgers and stay in state.
I went to Florida for school and I met a kid from Wisconsin, and I'm we're talking. He's like, "Oh, you're from New Jersey?" He's like, "Do you know Blair Academy?" I'm like, yeah, why? And he's from Wisconsin. He's like, "Oh, I almost went there for wrestling." I'm like, "You know about Blair Academy?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, the whole nation knows about it." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, is that where Scott's brother went? No, he went somewhere in PA. I forget.
Oh, I'm not. Wait. Are you talking about college?
No, high school.
Oh, high school.
He went to a private high school and he won multiple national or state titles.
It was Pope John, DePaul.
It was a Pennsylvania school.
Yeah, I don't know.
College or
high school.
Notre Dame.
No, I forget. If Scott was here, he'd
know. Yeah, he would know.
Like he was saying, there is a lot of talent in this state, Jabril Peppers, Minka Fitzpatrick. Those are really good safeties.
I mean, when I went to school in Cincinnati, 2 or 3 of our basketball players were from New Jersey, the Patterson area.
Yeah, if you're either from rough areas or you're from the private Catholic schools.
But I think it also has something to do with people wanting to get out of New Jersey. I wanted to get out of New Jersey.
It could be that.
But there's no good college around here.
Yeah.
And now that Shiano's here, 2 years ago, I went to look on our 247 Sports to see who our top recruits are, and they're all going. Excuse me.
Nice.
they're all going out of state.
Yeah.
I looked this year, and now because Shiano's a coach, about 1/3 are staying in state.
Yeah.
Okay, he's bringing a culture change, which is good for the state. Big Michigan's a big name school. They're Harbaugh's a good coach, kind of. Weirdly enough,
I think he's a smart coach. I just don't think he's a locker room guy. I think that's his biggest flaw.
Yeah, he loves himself.
Yep,
it's all about him.
Yep,
but Rutgers almost beat them. Rutgers,
I know.
A bunch of nobodies almost beat the somebodies.
Yep.
And
it was close.
Yeah, you lost, but you should be pumped. This year, you should be expecting it.
But going back to Ohio State, I mean, they were a strong team. I thought
they have a lot of talent.
But when you have a 9-0 Cincinnati, and then you have a 6-0.
Cincinnati didn't beat a single team that ended up ranked at the end of the year.
No, I think they did one.
No, they were ranked when they played, but by the time the end of the year came, no teams they played were ranked.
None of them?
No.
I thought I saw that there was one of them.
So difficulty is schedule when you're playing.
I mean, it was high up, like in the 20s, I thought, but...
Yeah, but then they ended up not being ranked at the end of the year.
I'm saying nothing.
Yeah, difficulty is schedule.
Yeah, but okay, but like my big thing was Ohio State being in the
because they didn't play enough games.
Yeah, because they're like 6-0. Yeah, and like there's a lot of like opt-outs. I mean, like and like the schedule changes and things like that.
Who would you want up there instead? Texas A&M?
Who did I want up there?
Who got blown up by Alabama?
I think.
See, right? No, yeah, they did. I wouldn't.
I forgot who. I think it might have was Texas A&M.
Because I understand. I think college football should be the playoff should be 16 party basically. Mm-hmm. Because the 6 seed. They may have lost 1 or 2 games, but they're still a good team.
It would be just cool because football's so random, so anything can happen.
Look at March Madness. Everyone loves March Madness because no-name schools are in there. Now, don't get me wrong. You most likely aren't going to have a no-name school at the 5 or 6 spot, but it's just the point.
But like UCF could have made that 6 spot.
You want to know what it was? It was cool. Texas A&M.
Yeah, and
they were good.
I mean, you look at all these schools. You got Alabama 11-0, Clemson 10-1. You have Ohio State 6-0, and then you have Notre Dame 10-1. It's just like I feel like that there's like a proving factor, and also Ohio State had a lot of like bye weeks in between.
Yeah, but the thing
and
is,
like while the other teams were playing every single week.
The thing is though, you're not only basing it off of difficulty of schedule. That plays a role, and that's why Cincinnati isn't higher than they are, because they have a really easy. They go up against bad teams.
Yeah.
Ohio State goes up against good teams, but they also look at the talent on those teams. Justin Fields is about to be a top 3 pick.
But Cincinnati was more of a pride thing. I took Ohio State to heart, like actually thinking that they should have been like in 5 or 6.
I think,
and like I love Ohio State. Like,
I know, I think
Ohio I just
State,
think that the NCAA just
I think how Ohio State performed in the playoffs though proved exactly why they should have been.
I mean,
there. It showed. It showed. They killed. Who was it? Oklahoma. They played. Killed them.
I think so. No.
Wait, no, it was Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Notre Dame.
They beat Clemson. That was it. Yeah.
Like Trevor Lawrence got smacked.
Yeah. So they proved it right there.
And I actually took Ohio State in the championship game. I thought they were going to beat Alabama. I thought Justin Fields was much more. I like Justin Fields a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks. That's my thing.
Oh well, in the NFL.
Yeah, going into the NFL.
Yeah,
I don't trust.
Absolutely. But this is in the NFL.
Ohio State college football.
I thought you meant like going into the draft. You like Justin Fields.
I do like Justin Fields a lot.
Yeah.
I think that like an Ohio State quarterback needs to learn behind someone in the NFL.
That's why I thought the perfect fit would be the Falcons. Because Matt Ryan's a great guy to learn from. Justin Fields' weakness is Matt Ryan's strength. Going through the progressions, looking at who's, Julio's not open. Obviously not. It's Julio Jones. He's like triple covered.
Yeah.
But you have some small guy like Mohamed Sanu's open. Yep. Yeah, throw it to him, and he'll get some yak.
He was a Rutgers guy, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
But like, it's just like I was tied up between that because I think it's a good idea to have someone, learn behind Matt Ryan. But then again, you look at that Falcons defense, man.
I think you have 2 players. Ridiculous. You have Grady Jarrett. You have Deion Jones.
And
you have a bunch of rookies.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have to decide if you want to win now.
It's hard. They're in that weird tweener stage.
It's like if you want to go for win now or if you want to go for build for the future. Yeah. So if you draft a quarterback, you're going more build for the future, and that could pay off really well in like 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. And that could last you years.
The Packers drafted him last year. Because you guys drafted for the future instead of helping. Because who was your...
A.J. Dillon was number 2, and then we had DeGuara from Cincinnati.
So your first 3 picks.
So first 3 picks was Jordan Love, didn't play. A.J. Dillon, I think he had like 1 or 2 good games.
But you still had 2 guys ahead of him with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams.
I think
exactly.
And I get they were in a contract year, and I get that. But then you re-signed Jones. And when they re-signed Jones, it's like, that's good. Like, I get that. But that pick of Dillon is a waste.
Yeah, I think so too.
And like, me and my friend were like,
I was so pissed off with those. I mean,
I think it was actually a good move. I think Aaron Rodgers the season before was more of a game manager that season.
He played pissed off.
Yeah, this season he looked like old Aaron Rodgers,
which is fine. The first round pick I get because they did that with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. That's it. Let him sit, let him learn. I am for that. It's round 2. You had other players there you could have taken.
I think the Packers team is already good enough that Aaron Rodgers, if he's as good as people think he is, he should be able to win with this team. I mean, he has a top 3 offensive line every year. The defense is finally back towards the top 10.
Yeah, but they're still missing some key, like some. I think you guys need a lot of linebacking help. You have good edge rushers.
Yeah,
but who's playing the middle?
Yeah,
Oren Burks.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, Blake Martinez was not Blake Martinez on the Giants.
Oh yeah, Blake Martinez, like he had like the tackling record.
He could tackle really well, cover wise, but still. And you have who's that?
I mean,
Kenny Clark. He's good. Kenny Clark's good, but
I mean,
your secondary is great and your edge is great, but you don't have the trenches.
Yeah, like inside.
And those.
But that's the thing, though. I think you can't have a perfect team. So, like, I think
true.
I think the fact that you have a top 3 offensive line, pretty much a top 10 defense, a Devontae Adams somehow. You also have a top 3 receiver. Like, I think that's plenty.
Yeah, but there's nobody else to help Devontae Adams. They will triple cover that man. And while he can break,
I mean,
that's the thing. If you have one guy getting triple coverage, it doesn't matter who the other receiver is. It's going to open up opportunities for him.
Exactly. I get that, but Valdez scandaling. Just watching some games of him, it looked like he just wasn't concentrating the whole time.
He's a fast player.
He is.
I think,
he is.
But the ability is there, but he just hasn't unlocked it. And
Yeah.
St. Brown, I actually like St. Brown a lot.
I do too.
Yeah.
But again, same thing. Alan Lazard, I liked him coming
Alan
out.
Lazard, yeah.
But he was hurt. So,
I always tell Morgan this, like I would much rather like a well-balanced core than your one guy.
A bunch of good players.
But like, I mean, like it doesn't have to be a bunch of good players. I think it just needs to be like a balance.
How do you expect a team though to have a good offensive line, a good defense, good receiving core, good along with a good linebacking core? Like, how do you expect them to have absolutely everything while paying Aaron Rodgers like $35 million a year?
Yeah,
it's not possible.
I mean, I always say, yeah,
but and I think what they've done with like the salary cap they have,
but then again,
I think they've done a good job where they're playing to win now, but they're also like preparing for the future because Aaron Rodgers, I don't think is going to last much longer.
Then again, like they went through this last draft picking up a quarterback and a running back that they don't need.
But look what happened.
A tight end, I don't think that we really needed, but I like him because he's from Cincinnati.
Look what happened though at the end of Favre's career with the Packers. They had Rodgers learn behind him for 3 years, and then that continued their greatness.
Absolutely.
So, like, rather than like playing just to win now, now you have a guy learning behind Aaron Rodgers.
But I just think
that's preparing you for the next.
I get
3
that.
seasons.
I totally get that. But
and they're still doing a good job where they're doing that while also giving a top 3 O-line, a top 10
But you
defense,
don't think
good receiver.
You don't think that was like the Packers were lucky to get someone like Aaron? Like I just
yes, it's luck.
Yeah, I think it's lucky.
Dak Prescott. Love him, my boy. I will argue that contract the day I die. It's a great contract.
Yeah.
It's luck.
Yeah, I think
he wasn't on our board. We wanted Connor Cook. We wanted the kid from Penn State who the Jets drafted. We wanted someone else. Like he was late.
Christian Hackenberg is the guy from Penn State.
Of course, the Jones will say, "Oh, we always wanted Dak." Looking at Dak's tape, what? No.
No.
Yeah,
a lot of it does happen.
When I was upset, I was like, you know what? We took Dak in the 4th. He could learn behind Tony. Okay.
But he didn't learn much, though.
He got thrown right in.
No, because Romo got hurt.
Against the Seahawks.
In preseason. Our backup was Kellen Moore.
Yep.
He got hurt. And I think we had Jamil Showers. Didn't even play.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he was converted to safety. So really, how good could he have been? Dak was a 4th, maybe 5th string quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Got put in and played. And it's just...
Yeah, a lot of it does have to do with
it's
luck.
That it factor.
But
that's what it is.
I think something that takes away part of the luck, though, that you need while drafting is having a guy be able to learn behind someone like Aaron Rodgers.
If you're willing to learn,
seasons.
you'll be okay in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
We mentioned like what teams we mentioned like what teams are really well balanced. The Colts.
Colts, yeah.
And
Colts are very well balanced.
Who do they sign in the free agency?
Carson Wentz.
No, they traded for him.
Okay.
Who do they sign? They don't. They draft.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They draft, and that's what it's all about.
Drafting is the biggest way to get.
Because that's the thing. You all look at Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs are going to be great for another. Ignoring his major contract, they drafted him 3 years ago. They still would have control of him for another 2 years. Mm-hmm. That's a 5-year window. Mm-hmm. You have 5 years to basically like that. Look at the Cardinals when they hired a new coach who drafted Josh Rosen. Mm-hmm. Played like crap.
Yeah.
Traded him away the next year. Fired the coach, Cliff Kingsbury. Kyler Murray.
Yep.
And they're a team that's on the up.
Yeah, see, your biggest window,
all about drafting.
Your biggest window to win is when you have a quarterback on a rookie contract.
Absolutely. That's the only...
Because look at the
ignoring
Seahawks.
Tom Brady and ignoring...
Yeah, there's like special scenarios.
Yeah. Seahawks, you guys are doing good with him. Rodgers, you guys are doing good with him. Yes, you can keep them, and they'll be great.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to throw salt in the wounds. You won one. You won one.
Yeah.
What have you done since championship games? No doubt, which is great.
But you're not winning
I'm not trying to throw salt. I haven't.
I completely agree.
Championship game. But all I'm saying is it's done through the draft, and if your front office doesn't know what they're doing, you aren't.
Because look at the Seahawks. And they were able to have the
plays too.
Yeah.
Like when the Packers beat the Seahawks in 2014.
No. The Seahawks beat the fucking He fucking brings that shit up.
That was the best.
Fucking time.
That was the best NFC Championship game I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was.
That was so entertaining.
See, you know what?
I hated you guys. I wanted you guys to get blown out because that Dez catch was a goddamn catch.
Yeah.
Everyone admits it.
Yeah. I admit it too.
I mean, I understand
it was not a touchdown, and you guys, even if it was a touchdown, you guys would have come back and won. Our defense was. Prevent, and you can't play prevent defense against Aaron Rodgers because.
But that was definitely a catch.
The thing is, it was a catch.
There was 3 feet down.
Yeah.
That's football catch right there. 2 feet down with possession. He had 3.
And he still had the ball on. It's not like the ball bounced away.
It just moved when it hit the ground.
The refs did a good job though because based on the rules that were there at the time, it wasn't a catch, but everyone could see it was actually a catch.
My heart actually broke that day. Then 2 years later, when Aaron Rodgers hit Jared Cook.
And then the field goal, man. I actually have a video of
I was at work and I freaking launched stuff. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I hated you because you're so good.
Yeah.
I hate our defense. Because our defense, this is what we do. Giants did to us. You guys did to us. You guys did it again to us. My heart is just in shreds right now.
Honestly, when that Jared Cook catch,
and I hate him. I hate that man.
I think all there was memes out there saying like America loves the Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely, I think America's favorite teams. Well, I think there's a lot of bandwagon fans for Seahawks.
Yes. Yeah.
Because when there's Matt Hasselbeck, there really wasn't a lot.
I think there's bandwagon Packers fans as well too, but they are also they're everywhere. Like the Cowboys. The Cowboys are fucking everywhere.
I have a meme. It's like a list of called bandwagon Cowboys fans form, and it's 5 pictures of guys who are bench riders. Name these 5 players, and if you can't, because I can name the whole roster and not raw, but 90% of the roster, where they're from, position, what this, that, the other. Then there's fans who just oh yeah, the Cowboys are good. I like the Cowboys, but when they suck, oh fuck them. They don't know what they're talking about. They can't draft. I'm like, first of all, the Cowboys drafting, very good. It's our GM who doesn't know what he's doing.
Do you know how I became a Seahawks fan? You're gonna wish I was a bandwagon fan.
I hate it.
When I moved schools,
wait,
when I switched
did you want to guess?
Oh, go ahead if you want to guess.
What? Can you tell me the year?
It was 2012.
Yeah, it was the boom. It was the boom.
It seems like. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I became a Florida fan. University of Florida. I like Florida and LSU, which is a big no-no. My first college game was at LSU winning the championship. I'm like, oh, LSU, let's go. But Florida's jerseys with Tim Tebow, I'm like, oh, awesome. Yeah. So I totally get that.
I hate it.
It sucks because it was the year they first started doing good, but I became a fan before they really blew up and Russell. So because I switched schools and then I became friends with Arthur, Scott Joe, and I'd never known football before. I went to Warren Hills for 7th grade.
But you went to Mansfield Elementary, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was always into baseball and basketball. I knew nothing about football. So then when I became friends with them, all they knew was football, and that's all they talked about. So I was like, okay, I have to choose a team. So it was the year it switched from Reebok to Nike, and I went down and was
those
holy
such
shit,
clean
those
jerseys.
Seahawks uniforms.
Those jerseys, I get so jealous.
Yeah, I know.
They're so
I know. So that's how I chose the Seahawks, and I knew absolutely nothing at the time.
That's fine, but it's not like you started. If you became a fan in 2014, that's one thing. But you started because of the jerseys. I think that's logical. You're a child.
And
you're gonna go. If you like blue, and your mom holds up a picture, what color do you? What's your favorite picture? And it's with more blue or the more red. You're going with the more blue because you like the colors.
Yeah,
that's just basic.
Yeah, and I didn't want to choose a team from right here because everyone. So I wanted to be a little different.
Yeah.
So
that's why I like being a Cowboys fan because I'll argue with these Giants fans. And let me tell you,
Eagles. Uh-oh.
I can't stand Eagles fans.
I can't either because
they're the scummiest fan base.
They really are. They hate each other, and I love that.
Yeah.
They will call spade. I feel like I agree more with Eagles fans, but I butt heads more. Like I think Giants fans are very just they have blinders on. They don't want to believe it. Like there are some Giants fans who think Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott. I'm like, put the crack pipe down because that's just not true. He beat Dak once.
I think so.
The Giants haven't beat the Cowboys. Ignoring this year, last week.
The Cowboys have been having.
They were like 7-1 in the last 4 years. So Giants fans had no room to talk because you guys were more booty than we were.
Yeah, but I
mean Saquon. I mean, yes, is Saquon a better athlete than Zeke? Yeah. Saquon is what you want in running back.
I hated when Zeke was in the Pro Bowl over Aaron Jones, like the previous year. It's all popularity, man.
So. This is in topic for sure. Evan Ingram made the Pro Bowl this year.
Okay.
How bad was he?
Pretty bad. Yeah.
Pretty bad. Our backup tight end had similar numbers, but was a backup. Similar numbers than Evan Ingram, who Evan Ingram was known for being dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Our backup was a backup with
Evan Ingram made the Pro Bowl.
Made the Pro Bowl.
What the fuck?
I got really pissed.
Yeah.
I got really pissed. I'm like, fine. You want to find someone better? That's fine. But our backup tight end, because our starting tight end towards ACL week 1. So our backup came in and.
Yeah, who was your backup again?
Dalton Schultz.
Okay.
Tight end out of Stanford.
Yeah.
5th round pick. Didn't know anything about him that much. Like he's a 5th round pick. I don't.
But like he produced more so than Evan
solid.
Ingram.
He was Jason Witten-esque. So he would get like 5 catches for 55 yards. A touchdown here and there.
But like, what other tight ends in the NFC?
That's the thing. There wasn't any. Kyle Rudolph, I think, is a bum.
Kyle Rudolph.
He wasn't that
good.
Oh,
George Kittle was injured.
He was hurt.
Yeah. He won me my first ever. He played a big role in winning me my first ever fantasy football league. He did nothing all season, but I had nothing else to do. And then for some reason, when I was in the championship, he had a big game.
Cam Newton 2015. I loved I picked him up. He was good.
I had Odell. And Le'Veon Bell 2014.
Oh,
that was. And if you want to win fantasy, you have to get the lucky pick on the bench. On that bench, the free agent market. That's the only way you win.
Yeah, you have to be really on your game with waivers and stuff.
I was in a big league this year. It was a $300 buy-in. My first 4 picks, it was like Dak, Saquon. I picked my first 4 picks were out. Not because of COVID, but like major injuries. So I was like, I just lost $400.
Yep.
It's week 5. I'm like, I'm done already.
Yeah. I
started selling players like.
I had such a good team this year, and I made it to the playoffs. But I had, who was it? I had Michael Thomas, who ended up getting injured. But then I ended up having George Kittle got injured.
Yeah.
Who are my running backs? I had. It's weird how fast you forget your teams.
Because it every
year it's like mashup.
Every 7 months, because the season's from September to.
I don't remember who I had with Cam Newton the year that I had him.
Yeah, Cam was unbelievable. That year. Looking at his numbers.
Oh yeah, really that was his MVP season.
I'm trying to think. I know I had. I had. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'm trying to think.
Man, you would think that this is like a season opener of the NFL podcast.
Yeah, it seems
with how much we're talking about.
We only gotten through one list.
I know.
Well, yeah, hold on. Yeah, let's go through your
3,
list.
4, 5, 6. So, okay, back to my top sleepers. I had Kelvin Joseph, the corner out of Kentucky, Jamin Davis out of Kentucky, Jabril Cox, James Hudson, the corner out of Syracuse, Fatu Melifono, a really tall corner out of Syracuse. I like him a lot. He's 6'3" and he's an athletic freak. I'm buying into the skills. He's definitely a project player, not a day 1 starter.
Wait, did you say Paulson Adebo?
He's next.
Oh yeah, he's on my.
I like him.
Who I want Seahawks to draft. Now
he is Richard Sherman 2.0.
Yeah, now that they lost.
He's very ignoring because they went to the same school.
Yeah,
but Sherman, he was tall. Was he an athletic freak? No. But he was tall and just was very intelligent.
Yep. Who do you think has the best chance of being in the top 10 as a sleeper? Because I feel like that happens. I'm sure in the top 10 there's a sleeper who
my sleepers
slips in there.
My sleepers I picked because you'll get them in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round and they'll produce. So it's hard to tell. I can give you
Probably not in the top 5, you wouldn't think, right?
No, my top 10.
People are looking at quarterbacks.
So ignoring quarterbacks, the top 10 players I gave, I think all could be in the top 10. Not Jalen Phillips, no. Mm-hmm. I guess a good sleeper is Rashawn Slater.
Okay.
He's an athletic freak. He went to Northwestern, so it's not really known for producing great players, but I think wherever he goes.
And who has the best chance of picking him up, do you think?
It depends. I don't know what franchises, like, what are the Lions going to do? Because they're all, that coach is crazy, which is cool, but they're all about culture. Yeah. So they could go, I have them go, they can go Micah Parsons, the linebacker, they can go Surtain, the corner, or they can go Slater to build a line. But their line's all right. And I don't know what Denver's going to do. Mm-hmm. Denver needs a quarterback. They have corners.
I've been hearing that.
They need a linebacker.
I was going to say Lions were going to need a corner.
But they have Jeff Okudah, who they drafted last year. You have a top 3 who didn't really play because of injuries. Mm-hmm. You're going to spend your 2 top 10 picks on corners. That's a lot.
Do you need what about wide receiver for the Lions?
They could go that. They could go that route. It's hard. Rashawn Slater, Bengals could take him. Cowboys could take him. Mm-hmm. Giants have an okay line, despite what people think. They on the up and coming. Who's number 12? The Eagles. Eagles could take him. The Chargers definitely could take him. The Vikings could take him. I think he'll go 7 through 15. There's no way he slips past 15, just because of how good he is. Who else do I have? So I had Paulson Adebo. We talked about we like him. Yep. Ben Cleveland, the guard out of Georgia, really athletic freak, strong as hell.
Yeah, the Eagles have 12. Yeah.
My favorite safety. He's 5'8". Mm-hmm. I call him Mighty Mouse. Okay. Ardarius Washington, so good. He's gonna go 3rd, 4th round.
He's like a Tyrann Mathieu.
Exactly my player comp. He's all over. 2019 his tape was great, making picks, this, that, the other. 2020, teams did not throw his way. They threw to the other safety, Trevon Moehrig. So Moehrig is going to go higher because there's more tape on him of recent. They just stayed away from Washington. But Washington, similar numbers. Yeah, he's 5'8", but he also jumps higher than the guy who's 6'1". Okay. So it's pretty impressive. Janarius Robinson, the defensive end out of Florida, project player. You know, you guys drafted the guy from Syracuse. The guy.
What position?
Alton Robinson.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You drafted him. I think he's Alton Robinson 2.0. He's a year or two to learn. Demetric Felton. He's a UCLA running back converting to a wide receiver. He's like 5'8".
I think I've been seeing the mock drafts where Seahawks got him.
He's good. I like him, but again, I think the perfect fit for him is Patriots. They like those gadget guys. Marvin Wilson, the defensive lineman, he was, in the start of last year, a top 15 pick. Mm-hmm. I think he played hurt. I think he wanted to raise his stock, but he played hurt, so it hurt him. Mm-hmm. My last one is Divine Diablo. He reminds me of Cam Chancellor, but the way the NFL is going, those strong safeties are now moving to a weak side linebacker to play in the box, basically, like what Keanu Neal just was doing for the Cowboys, what Landon Collins basically does. Mm-hmm. So I like him a lot, and that's all for my sleepers. These guys are like 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks.
That was pretty much what Cam Chancellor did too. They moved him up a lot in the box, and then they had I think Earl Thomas was
that center fielder.
He was that. He was what made the Legion of Boom possible because Richard Sherman got to play very aggressive defense because he knew he had Earl backing him up. Exactly. Enabled Cam Chancellor to move up in the box so he could do the run game.
You weren't crossing Cam's path because there's Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, and Cam. You were getting smacked. Yeah, like, and you knew you were going to take a pound.
And if Earl Thomas couldn't cover that whole backfield, and most players can't.
And Chancellor could cover too. Like, he could cover well, but his main job was
run stop,
and
knock
hit that ball out.
Yep.
Now that's what worked. Another list I have is names to know. So these guys can go round 1, round 2, and your team might draft them, especially you, and you with these later picks, and you're gonna be like, oh, what the hell. These players I like a lot. Greg Newsome, corner out of Northwestern.
You thinking Packers? I mean, they already.
Packers don't really need a corner, do
they? They just signed Kevin King again, which I was surprised.
I hate Kevin King. I like him a lot, and I wanted him back in 2017 when he was drafted. Mm-hmm. I wanted him. No, he hurts you guys more than he helps you guys.
I mean, especially with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I
liked Josh Jackson more coming out of college, but he hasn't really seen the field, is he?
Wait, what?
Josh Jackson, the corner.
Yeah, I don't think he's done much.
He's not.
They might have released him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really see him much in action.
He's in play, and I don't really know why. I was just wondering.
Well, our secondary was Jair Alexander too.
Yeah. Top 5 corner.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love Jair.
I need another year of production out of him, like this year, and I'll move him top 3. Yeah. Okay. He is my third corner. It's Ramsey. It's who's the guy from New England? Gilmore.
Okay.
And then it's Alexander.
Yeah. He's younger than us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 23 right now.
He's like 6'1" and runs really fast and covers really well.
Yeah.
And he has an attitude, which I like a lot.
He did very well against Tampa Bay Buccaneers NFC Championship.
You know what I miss? I miss Richard Sherman's attitude.
Loved it.
His earlier season. Do you remember that playoff game against Washington? It was where RG3 destroyed his knee, and then he got punched in
Trent
the face.
Williams, he's like, I'm going to punch you in the effing face.
Why don't you
do it? Do it. Why don't you do it? Boom. And Sherman's like, ah.
Yeah. I love that. That was so good.
2014, the Cowboys went to Seattle, where we beat you, and I was pumped. Like, I was loving life then. And I'm like, Dez and Sherman are just going to go at it, because Dez is not like shit talkers. Like, Dez will get back, and Sherman, and the whole time, they would, like, chirp at each other, but, like, talk, like hug it out. Like, I'm like, those guys are boys. I'm like, all right, I'm with that. Like, Sherman doesn't like a lot of people. Well, he comes across not liking a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's part of his game because...
he gets inside the head.
Yep, that's such a big part of his game because he's not, like, the most athletic guy. Yeah. So I think...
he gets inside your head.
Yep.
I know Jalen Ramsey. Oh, I heard this story, and I think it's absolutely insane. So he's a good corner, as we all know.
Yeah.
He talks a lot, as we know. In college, he would find out... So let's just say he went to Florida State, so he's playing Clemson the next week.
He would add the receiver's girlfriend or something, right?
DM them. He'd like just hit on them, just to mess with them.
He would. What's that guy's name? The
ballsy move.
He tried to do that with Conor McGregor.
Oh wow. It's either Logan.
Jake Paul. Yes. Yeah.
That's ballsy to do.
Yeah. It is.
I mean, in college that's fine, but like.
So what else do you have on draft?
Richie Grant, the safety out of UCF. You can play free or you can play box. Creed Humphrey, the center out of Oklahoma. Pat Fryermuth, the tight end out of Penn State. He reminds me of Mike Gesicki of Miami a lot.
I like Mike Gesicki.
He's a very good pick. Davion Nixon, the defensive tackle out of Iowa. Asante Samuel Jr. out of Florida State. That's a name to watch if he plays a slot. I like the slot. Elijah Molden, corner out of Washington, plays a slot. Eric Stokes, who ran 4.24 as a corner. Liam Eichenberg, the left tackle out of Notre Dame, and Lee McNeil out of NC State.
Yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to the combine.
It's hard. Combine. It's all pro days, so it's hard.
I thought Trevor Lawrence was in.
That's pro day.
It's a pro day.
They just broadcasted it. Like I watched the USC pro day the other day.
Okay, that's why I didn't.
It's not as fun because all these names I just listed, if ESPN, they only will show, like yesterday did the BYU day for the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Like they only show what they want to show.
Yeah.
The combine, you're seeing every prospect nearly. Players I don't like, I only have 2 that I really just would stay away from, especially at their spot, I guess. Gregory Rousseau, the defensive end out of Miami. He's projected to go first round. He has a good size, but he's very, very raw. And he had great production. He had, I think, 15 sacks. But I just don't see a lot of things on his tape that will translate to the NFL that well. Like, I like to call it more of like right place, right time sort of sacks. And he also went against weak competition. Like, there's not really one ACC offensive lineman that's good.
Yeah.
And he also had a really good other, when you're defensive end number 1, like when you're the main pass rusher, you're going to get double teamed, triple teamed.
Yeah.
But we have a bunch of other great players. Now you're on 1-on-1. And he got 15 sacks, which is great, but I don't know. Round 2 is where I would take him. Because you're buying into the size and the athleticism, but just moves-wise, he didn't have it. He would just kind of run past you.
Yeah.
Safety out of Syracuse. I've seen him go round 2, but he had 13 interceptions in the past couple of years, which is great. But 11 of them were off of tip balls
and
or bad
like
passes that you weren't going to see in the NFL.
Yeah.
He only had 2. So 2 in 2 years. I mean, that's all right, but we're praising him for all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be there. It's a day 2, day 3 pick for me.
Okay.
But yeah, those are the 2 players I don't like and stay away from. There's other players, but those are 2 guys I keep hearing the media rave about just because of the stats. You have to look more into the stats.
Justin Fields is on there for me. I don't trust him. I don't know. I just see
See Ohio State.
Any Ohio State.
Yeah, I really think it's the Ohio State thing that's throwing me off.
Well, Cardale Jones, you have JT
Miller, right?
Braxton Miller,
Pryor.
Terrell Pryor
and Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, I like Dwayne Haskins a lot.
Do you?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did. But
I didn't like him
going
at that time.
with Washington, like with Gruden, just really hurt his career, and then he had a bad head on his shoulders. Like, then the pandemic, he was going out doing things. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, the MLB, the NBA had it hard because they started right after. The NFL had months to watch and learn what not to do.
Yep.
And this kid goes out and starts doing things that you're not supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Like, come on, man. Like, you're really telling the whole league, I'm not a team player. Yeah. I do what I want. And that's not a good head. Like, that's not.
Yeah. Nope. But wait, Terrell Pryor, it was
he ended up being a receiver.
Yeah, didn't Braxton Miller do that too? Yeah.
On the Texans.
So maybe Justin Fields would probably be a receiver. No.
He's not. I don't think he's not. I don't know.
He's not fast.
I like Fields. I do like Fields.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like...
he reminds me of Russ a lot. I hate to say
he?
His deep ball just looks so good to me.
I mean, and I see where you're coming from. I just think Ohio, like if you're going to get an Ohio State quarterback, I think he's the one, but you also have to. I think he needs some learning to do.
I think if he has time to develop, if you're drafting him to throw him right in, I think that's going to.
Because I feel like you got to think about all these other Ohio State quarterbacks. Which other ones were behind another quarterback? Cardale Jones, Buffalo Bills.
He never had a real chance.
Oh, no. Did he start for the Buffalo Bills?
He did, but there was nobody ahead of him.
Yeah.
There was Nathan Peterman, Barkley, and Josh Allen just became good this year. Let's not act like he was good last year. He just became good.
Yeah.
And he's still 24 years old.
Yeah.
So he still really hasn't even learned that much of the league.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't think he really got a chance, but he was the kid. Didn't he like smack some like special kid on NCAA 14 and then bragged about it on Twitter?
I think so.
And he would tweet about his school saying F
he was
school.
bad on Twitter.
He was kind of like Dwayne Haskins, where it's kind of like a head case. Like, come on, dude. Like,
yeah.
Like Jameis Winston-esque. Jameis was at least smart enough not to post this stuff.
Yeah.
But he didn't realize he was being posted about.
Stealing crab legs.
What do you do?
Dude, what kind of scandals are going to be going on with the NFL draft? I mean,
like Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I mean, like with like Deshaun Watson, but like what about with the NFL draft? Do you think something's going to come up with Trevor Lawrence?
Do you remember that? Do you remember Laramie Tunsil a few years ago?
Oh yeah,
during the draft, it came out. He had that gas mask and was smoking weed.
So I'm going to show you this meme I found. So it goes. How did we build the Super Bowl roster? Well, you see, kids, it all started with this picture, and it's I'm like, that's it. The Dolphins traded him away and got a bunch of like first round draft picks.
Yep.
The next 3 years, they have 6 first round draft picks and a bunch of second and thirds. Like the Dolphins are finessing the system right now, all because of this guy right here.
Yeah,
and he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Like he's not a bust by any means, but it's just the Texans are a joke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the Dolphins, they got their quarterback, but. You guys are talking. I want to go back a little bit. You guys are talking about like Ohio State quarterbacks. Who's the Alabama quarterback that's good?
Oh yeah, Alabama quarterbacks I don't trust either.
Well, isn't it?
Oh,
Mac Jones? No.
But I'm saying like Tua.
Oh,
well, what is Tua proven?
Lately.
I don't like Tua.
I think there's potential with Tua. I'm not buying into it. Mac Jones. Not really buying into it.
I think Mac Jones is better. I'd rather have Mac Jones than Tua. Tua's too injury prone.
The leftiness, which we don't really see.
That messes up your...
He's not that big.
Yep.
The injury prone. Mac Jones is your prototypical.
Scott likes
but Tua doesn't know anything. Scott doesn't actually know anything about football. He sees Tua in Alabama, and that's it.
Isn't Scott a diehard Alabama fan?
Scott knows a lot with college.
No, I think he knows the players, but I don't think he actually pays attention because Tua, I think, is just very.
It's hard with Alabama too. Like they are so dominant.
Yep.
It's just like.
It's kind of
NFL,
like you're going
Alabama, then the rest of the college football.
Yep.
Sometimes Ohio State, sometimes Florida.
Ohio State will always be in the bottom of the NCAA's heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No matter if they're good or bad.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing with Alabama quarterbacks is they have such a good team around them. I don't think that there's that much weight on their shoulders.
If you could be a quarterback anywhere, you're going to Alabama or Ohio State because you're just going to get playmakers no matter where you go.
Yep.
Like Amari Cooper, Julio Jones.
Yep. Calvin Ridley.
Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith.
Yep.
Like there's just players. Not Evan Ingram. Irv Smith Jr.
Mm-hmm.
You good offensive lineman. Your defense gets turnovers, and Nick Saban's the Bill Belichick of college football. Like if you really want to have the best NFL career or best chance to have a good NFL career, you go to Alabama.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I just I don't trust too much. I think the Dolphins would have been smart to try and find a way to trade for Deshaun Watson.
I thought so too.
Would you say Michigan too?
It's hard.
I feel like Michigan produces a lot. They
produce random good players. It's not like you know how like LSU is known as DBU.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame is known as offensive line U. And
Georgia and Alabama running backs.
Yeah. What is Michigan?
It's all over the place.
It's random. It's like Jabril Peppers. Loved him. Loved him. He didn't really have a position. He would play safety. He would play corner. He'd play running back. He would play wide receiver. Like maybe Michigan offensive line. Like they do produce decent offensive linemen, but maybe defensive line because now that
Alabama's a good specialized.
Alabama, you could possibly say Alabama's besides quarterback, running back U, wide receiver U, offensive line U, defensive line U, linebacker U.
I think Alabama's gonna be producing running back. Like NFL running backs, forever.
Because they have a good thing where like the running back plays for a year or two, gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Another kid's recruited, a year or two, gone. It's just an ongoing thing. Like you aren't going to have a 4 years. You aren't going to have a 4-year player.
Yeah.
You're out by your age 20, 21 season.
You know who I like a lot? Well, I have a bias because I'm a Texas fan, but Sam Ehlinger. I love Sam Ehlinger. I think he's Tim Tebow 2.0.
Yeah, and it didn't work in the NFL.
But the thing is, I think he's a little bit different. I think his actual passing ability is a little bit better than Tebow's. And I love he got a lot of experience at Texas playing in high pressure moments, and he performed really well. And I'm like, Texas.
That's true.
Texas played. I think this season they had like 3 overtime games that went into overtime, and he performed really well in all of them.
That is true. I just think he's he's raw.
He is very raw.
He needs a lot. Like
he's someone I wouldn't mind.
Packers, which if they didn't have Love, Packers should look into Ehlinger.
He's someone I wouldn't mind the Seahawks drafting as a backup to Russ and learning. Yeah, I would like that.
That makes total sense.
You know who?
I don't like Texas, so I have friends that are Texas Longhorn fans, and they're very like biased.
I'm definitely biased in that. I'm sure a lot of people don't see much in Ehlinger, but my big thing that I love about when I look at quarterbacks is how they perform in high pressure situations.
That's true. That's a good thing to look at.
And how Ehlinger played in those situations and how frequently he had to play in them. I really liked what I saw. I definitely think he's raw though.
Gotcha. Is that it for NFL?
I have 2 more lists to go through. I have the best player comps for the major picks, so I'm going to read through it fast. Trey Lance, I think he's going to be that 2016 to 2018 Dak Prescott where it's not the prettiest, it's not the best, but he's not going to turn the ball over. Justin Fields, he has the Russell Wilson skill set, like the ability, but Russell Wilson has that it factor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Surtain, this is a throwback that everyone forgets. Champ Bailey. I think just all around good corner.
Yep.
Rashawn Slater, I have as La'el Collins. He could play inside, outside, nasty factor, really good at blocking. J.C. Horn is a corner that people are starting to talk about now. I have him as a Aqib Talib long, lanky corner, but he's very, very touchy. He uses his hands a lot, so
it might not. It could hurt in the NFL.
And he's nasty. Like he'll trash talk. Jalen Phillips, Joey Bosa, if he can stay healthy, like he's really good. But he gets hurt a lot. Caleb Farley, I have Josh Norman from 2015, where he was like fast, athletic, locking down corners, very good at the zone. Jabril Cox is Deion Jones. Darius Washington, Honey Badger. Richie Grant, I have like Buda Baker, where he can do it all pretty well. Oh boy, this is a hard name. Or Amon Ra St. Brown. So it's your boy.
Like brother?
Yeah, brother.
Okay.
Michael Thomas. I think that's a
good call.
That's a bold statement because he's good routes. When he has the ball in his hands, he's explosive. Will he beat a guy downfield? Don't really know.
Yeah.
Tevin Jenkins, I have as Taylor Lewan. He's very nasty, very disruptive, very physical. And your boy, Sammy Cosme, I have as Anthony Costanzo. He's very athletic. I'm afraid with Cosme, but I just see Anthony Costanzo so much in him.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I didn't really see that much strength in Cosme.
Yeah.
But it's also based on your system, too.
Yep.
Like, Ehlinger would drop pretty far back in the pocket, so it gave Cosme a lot more time. Patrick Mahomes does that as well.
Yeah.
My last... Well, you have any comments on that stuff?
No. Yeah.
My safest picks, Trevor Lawrence, obviously. Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater, Kyle Pitts, Surtain, Najee Harris, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah at the will linebacker, so he's more of the...
Wait, what's list? Oh, what's this list?
Safest picks.
Safest picks,
So,
okay.
it may not be the most ignoring Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be like the shiniest pick.
But the least risk.
But you aren't going to be. You shouldn't be upset. Koramoah at the will linebacker. Elijah Vera Tucker, the offensive lineman from USC. He can play tackle. I think he needs to play left guard. I think he'll be very good there. Liam Eichenberg at left tackle. Nick Bolton at the will linebacker. Asante Samuel Jr. at slot corner. He's 5'11", but the NFL, you need to be about 6 foot to play outside corner. Mm-hmm. He can play inside, and he's very physical. He's nasty. He gets turnovers. His worst tape is when he's playing on the outside, and Clemson exposed him. Mm-hmm. So I think that goes to show he needs to play inside. And then Jamar Chase, the wide receiver out of LSU, he's one of the safest picks to make.
I think so.
Does everything well. Size, speed. He's not a lunatic.
Mm-hmm. Did you mention Marquez Stevenson at all? Because he's someone that I wouldn't mind the Seahawks drafting with their second round pick. He's a slot receiver.
Where's he from?
Houston.
I haven't really looked into slot receivers because there's so many this year. Yeah. There's a lot this year.
It's a good thing because the Seahawks, to help with the offensive line, the Seahawks' biggest problem last year was they have DK and Tyler Lockett.
They're just deep ball threats.
They're deep ball threats. And the offensive coordinator and Pete Carroll were just calling so many plays that took so long to develop.
Is that Schottenheimer?
Yeah. I hate Schottenheimer.
Wasn't he with the Jets? Or like his dad or brother or something?
He was with the Rams, and for some reason the Seahawks.
I've never heard a good thing about him.
I think Pete Carroll was friends with him. I think that's why.
I hate that. Mike McCarthy did that. Mm-hmm. He hired Mike Nolan as our defensive coordinator. And that's when our defense was a trash. Yep. We weren't getting turnovers. We weren't stopping the ball. The Browns ran for like 300 yards against us. Yeah. Because, with the COVID season and apparently from our defensive players said he was too complex and he wasn't clear on things. Mm-hmm. And you weren't practicing as much this year because of COVID. You didn't have any summer camps this year because of COVID. Yeah. So everyone's defense with a new coach should have been basic, simple stuff. Yeah. Instead, he's going to extreme. Not to mention his defense hasn't worked since the 90s. Yeah. His defense was last good with the San Francisco 49ers back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. But Mike McCarthy, as you know, was brought onto that organization, and apparently that Mike Nolan was the guy to bring him on. Yeah. So McCarthy kind of paid him a favor, and I hate that.
See, Pete Carroll did it again. Yeah. Pete Carroll did it again with Chris Richard, our defensive coordinator.
I like Richard.
Do you?
He was really good with you guys, and he's very enthusiastic. But sometimes I heard he wouldn't change it up. He would keep it basic, and the other teams knew. And that was running cover 3.
He ended up playing. He changed it up a bit at the end of the season, but the thing is, I couldn't tell if he was actually doing more or if it was because we were going up against NFC East offenses. Yeah. So our stats started to look better, but through the first 10 weeks, the Seahawks were on pace to be the worst defense of all time. Yeah. Under him.
And Jamal Adams.
I don't mind the Jamal Adams trade as long as they end up re-signing him. Yeah. Because they gave up 2 first-rounders, but the Seahawks, and that's one of my biggest complaints with Pete Carroll because he plays a big role in our draft picks. He looked like he was a good scout and picking out players because of his earlier seasons with the Seahawks. But in the last 6-7 seasons, he hasn't drafted well at all.
That's true. And he reaches for a lot of picks.
Reaches.
You had that guy, Jordan Brooks.
Jordan Brooks was a huge reach.
He's a second. I had him going to you guys in the second round of last year's draft. Yep. And instead, you got him in the first round.
Yep. I know.
The Seahawks are the hardest team because he always. Seahawks, Patriots, and the Vikings. Yeah. Because usually those 3 guys are huge influencers on their draft picks. Yep. And it's always a random guy out of left field.
Yeah. And way earlier than it should have been. Just even Rashad Penny, such an unnecessary pick.
Is he even on your team now? I know he is, but
he's still recovering from a knee injury. He destroyed his knee, and he's never done anything.
Speaking of knees, how's your leg doing?
Oh, it's good. It's just my back was starting to hurt, so I just had to adjust.
Yeah, I don't know. Pete Carroll, I agree though. I think he's on the hot seat.
Moving into that, I had John Gruden.
Okay.
What the hell is he doing right now?
Yeah, right.
You just got rid of your whole offensive line.
Yeah.
Your star center, Gonzo. Your star right tackle, Gonzo. Mm-hmm. Richie Incognito is old, and he's also a douchebag. And you got rid of your right guard. So now you were going into the season with all backups except for your left tackle, who's all right. So
to give him some credit though, remember when he first got hired, got rid of Khalil Mack, and we were like, "What is he doing?" And then he did.
Khalil Mack, he had that one really good year, but he's slowly not as productive.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because the Raiders had like so many picks the following.
Yeah, they pick good players.
Yeah. And he did build a team up. Like the Raiders looked good.
Derek Carr has looked good. Josh Jacobs is a good player. Like
So who knows? John Gruden might be just.
I mean, like it sounds like he just sabotaged like that one year just to prepare for the future.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do in the NFL. Like either you sabotage yourself, or the coach will do it for you.
Yeah,
which is questionable. I have Pete Carroll in the hot seat. Mike Zimmer on the hot seat because what have the Vikings done?
Nothing. They have a lot of talent. They have a lot. Kirk Cousins holds them back.
They haven't given him an offensive line, but their defense used to be a really good defense.
Yeah,
and it just
they're barely getting in there, like barely. Like it's just I don't really see. Anything
I never see them as true Super Bowl contenders though.
Yeah. And I do like Kirk Cousins, and the Stephon Diggs trade I kind of understand because. I said from day one last year when they traded him away, like you need to get Justin Jefferson out of LSU. Mm-hmm. He's the same exact player as Diggs, and it worked. But they aren't protecting Kirk at any. Like you paid him a lot of money just to have him get sabotaged. Like you aren't going to go anywhere. I think they have.
That's the hard part though, because when you pay someone that much money, it's so hard to build like a complete balanced team around.
It is, and it's hard because you want to draft for like the best. You sign players you want. Yeah. You draft best player available.
Yeah.
And I don't think Zimmer's doing that. I think he signs who he wants, which is great. Yeah. Best player available. He has a bunch of corners who are young, but you keep drafting corners. And I get your defensive oriented, but your defense is not good. Yeah. So like if your strong suit's defense, what are you doing? Like Mike McCarthy is great offensively. Yeah, he left the Packers, and when they were a good offensive team, he went to the Cowboys, good offensive team. It's the defense. Like play your cards well, and Zimmer isn't doing that. I have Bill Nagy, the Chicago Bears coach.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears. They were good that 1 year with Mitch. I like them a lot, and their defense kind of slowed down, and their offense is.
The Bears.
Were you hoping that the Cowboys were going to trade for Russ when that rumor was out there?
Russ is better than Dak. I would have taken it if they would have. See, it's hard to tell. Well, I don't know what I would have given up.
Yeah,
but ideally, I would have liked Russ.
Say they had to give up 3 first-rounders and no?
And Dak too?
No. Let's say not Dak.
But then what do you do with Dak?
Trade him somewhere else, I guess.
What do I get? How many first-rounders would I get? Like that's the thing. Yeah. Like I would.
See, I don't think Dak's worth that much value right now.
Russ is worth 3. Dak is not worth 3. So now would I trade Russ? Essentially, would I give up a first round and Dak for Russ?
I wouldn't even give up a first round for Dak.
Really?
Prior to the knee injury, I would have. Or the leg injury. But
Josh Rosen got a first round. Second round draft pick.
Yeah.
You're saying that Dak is on Josh Rosen's level in that sense?
No, I'm saying, Josh Rosen was different because it was only, his second year. So, like, there was still potential. You didn't really get to see much. And he was just a first round pick. But Dak, we've seen his potential, and he's coming off such a bad injury. You don't know if he's going to be the same. That's the thing that scares me about him, and I think
that's fair. The injury is quite like a fair point to make.
Yeah,
but I think each year Dak plays, he gets better and better.
And I think under Mike McCarthy, he's gonna like reach his full potential.
I've had I know you guys have heated arguments about Brady. And Rodgers.
I have every fucking day.
I'll have heated arguments that Dak is better than Lamar Jackson.
Oh, I don't think Lamar Jackson's that good.
I think if you stop Lamar from running, which is his game.
Oh yeah.
What is he doing? I'm saying Dak's a better quarterback. I didn't say Dak's a better running back.
Yeah.
Or quarterback who runs.
Lamar Jackson's a great athlete, but he's very limited in his passing. So I always say the way to beat the Ravens is you have to get up on him early and make him stop.
Contain and hit the A gap.
Yeah.
I just think that like the game of football now is just changing. I think now you kind of need more so of a mobile quarterback nowadays, and like it's easier first because of the regulations that are going down.
Your two boys, Russ and Rodgers, that style play is still relevant, and it's the really only way to like.
Yeah, and like I think that they do it. Like I think they do the running and the throwing very well.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where like you need to go
absolutely
to have a quarterback in this league right now.
I think you have to be pass first.
Oh well, yeah.
You have to be
able to scramble and be able to buy.
Yeah, but then throw away. Like RG3 didn't throw it away. That's why he got killed.
Yep.
RG3 pass, then run, get killed.
Yeah.
It's Dak, Pat, Josh Allen, Rodgers, Russ.
Aaron will like go like around and then just just throw it at the ground.
See, the thing with Russ though,
buy time for yourself.
Yeah.
The thing with Russ that a lot of people complain about is a lot of people say that Russ gets sacked so much because of himself because he doesn't throw the ball away.
That is true, but he has.
But
he has a
But I mean, if he was not able to protect himself while doing that, I would have a bigger issue. I'd be like, throw the ball away, stop getting hit. But he's able to protect himself.
He has no choice.
Yeah, and two, how many big games have we won because he didn't just throw the ball away and he took that risk and waited that extra second to
being a risk taker is kind of important, but it's hard to be a risk taker.
Yeah,
it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep, unless the big play happens.
That's why I said Dak, because that Seattle game.
Yep,
Dak had a really great game. This year.
He had it,
but at the line it shows an interception. At the bottom, the stat line says interception. But my defense is he had no other choice to throw it up in the end zone. Yeah, like that's the only choice he had.
That's what people didn't realize. People said Wilson dropped off this season, but
he had no choice.
The Seahawks were playing down multiple scores each game.
It's the whole theory of garbage time is complete BS because unless you're getting blown out 45-0, there's no garbage time.
Yeah.
When you guys 2 years ago, you guys came to Dallas and you guys were up like 35-10, and then the Cowboys started coming back.
Okay.
And Dak had really good numbers at the end of the game.
I'm trying to think. Was that like towards the end of the?
It was the beginning of 2018. It was when Devontae Adams had that game-winning touchdown with like 5 seconds left.
Okay.
In Dallas.
All right.
And the Cowboys looked
that was a high-scoring game, wasn't it?
It was because Dak came back and be like, Dak sucked. I'm like, you actually cannot blame Dak for not. Mm-hmm. He's not playing defense. Like, no, it's one thing if like.
That was like a 35-37 game or something like that.
You guys beat us on the last second score, but Dak brought them back at one point. Mm-hmm. That's if you want to make the comparison that Josh Allen is better than Dak, okay, we can talk about that. Mm-hmm. But I'm buying the guy who's been doing it for not much, but Dak's been doing it for 4 years. Allen did it for 1 year.
No,
I want the solid choice, the guy who's proven to do it.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, he's great for fantasy, and he'll win you games. That's no doubt. But when push comes to shove and you need him to throw a pass, if your life's on the line, you are
It's shown time and time again. As soon as a team gets up on the Ravens by more than one score,
the playoffs, every playoffs game, the Chiefs, the Titans, who else did it? Didn't the Bills do it? The Bills did it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ravens have to focus on like getting points on the board in the beginning of
stages. Yeah, I mean, if they can get a lead, they're fantastic.
Because he'll run the ball, he'll run the clock out, and it's game over because you aren't touching him.
Yeah,
he'll do what he wants with the ball, where he'll run out of bounds if he wants to save time, or he'll slide.
But if you want to actually come back in a game, you can't do it.
No.
Can't do that,
unless he keeps developing his arm, maybe. But
do you think that's why they kind of had like that duo of RG3 and Lamar Jackson?
To RG3, tell him throw the ball away.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Yeah.
Don't be me.
Yeah.
RG3, what could have been? That quarterback draft class was phenomenal.
Andrew Luck, RG3,
Russ, or Cousins, Nick Foles.
Oh my god! Can you Can you actually believe that the Redskins at that point took RG3?
Whoa. Football team.
Well, they were the Redskins. They took Kirk Cousins later on.
Yeah,
like they already had concerns right when they drafted him.
It was because Jay Gruden didn't like him.
No, he was
Jay Gruden.
It was
at the time. Yeah,
I remember that. It was really awkward because I'm like, it's his rookie year. You drafted him and you don't like him, which goes to show like the ownership, and then the code. You need to be together to make choices. Yep. Like look at the Patriots. Robert Kraft says, "Do what you will, Bill," and Bill does, and that's why they're so good. The Colts, they are so good at drafting. They just are a quarterback short. If they had Andrew Luck right now, I think they'd be Super Bowl favorites.
I do too.
Because now that they finally have a line,
I know
he leaves.
I wish he came back. There was rumors he might come back.
I saw that.
Wish. I loved Andrew Luck. He's such a good person. Seems like
you can't hate him.
No, you can't.
Like.
Mm-hmm.
Even just his voice, he's just so goofy.
Did you see that Twitter account of it's like someone like cropped Andrew Luck's head, put it in like black and white. They made it black and white and put it on like some old Civil War guy's head. And it's like Captain Luck, and they act like, "Dearest mother, I retired from the battle today. I got hurt too much." It's like jokes like that. And it's just like with Andrew Luck's hairline and like his beard, it's just like it fits, and he talks all weird and whatnot.
Yep. I liked Andrew Luck, but
stick with the
what do you think's gonna happen with Minshew now? Do you like Minshew?
As a character, yeah.
I liked him even before he got drafted. I really liked Minshew.
He never had a chance in Jacksonville.
And he still performed well.
That's the thing. I respect him, but there's just right now
a lot of changes I think are going on in Jacksonville. Rumors. Though they're like Urban Meyer's the new coach.
That's why I think he's going with Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, that's the only reason why he's there.
That's what I'm thinking.
Urban Meyer's about to wants to win a Super Bowl, and Lawrence is that guy to do it.
Yeah.
If Urban Meyer took the Jets, he wouldn't have taken the Jets job because they don't have a chance to get Lawrence.
Okay, so Gardner Minshew's rookie season. Why can't I see his regular season?
They're really gonna take. You think they're really gonna take Sam Darnold out for Zach Wilson?
So I
think
I'm a Cowboys fan, right? Mm-hmm. And I listen to a lot of sports radio around this area, so I kind of sympathize with the Jets. Mm-hmm. I think.
I mean, that's like those are changes too. Adam Gase is out now, and
Sam Darnold never had a chance. He never, because Adam Gase is a joke. Mm-hmm. The Jets front office was a joke until Joe Douglas showed up, who, by the way, did get Sam protected. Mekhi Becton's good, pretty good as a rookie. I would love for the Jets to say, yeah, we're trusting in Sam. Let's draft Penei Sewell out of Oregon. Now you have 2 stud potential all-pro tackles. Mm-hmm. Second, you have another first-round pick, get a wide receiver. You have an early second-round pick, get either defensive help or another offensive lineman. I think the Jets do end up going with Zach Wilson out of BYU. Yeah, I think it's
back to back, and then you think another back to quarterback in San Francisco to Jimmy G.
This is a hot take. The Jets are for sure going quarterback because you don't think for 1 second the 49ers called the Jets saying, "Hey, well, let's do this trade that we just did with the Dolphins."
Yeah,
it's pretty much a fact that they called the Jets saying, "Let's do it." The only reason why the Jets said no is because they're going for a quarterback.
Yep,
that's the only reason why they said no, because the Dolphins got a hell of a package.
Oh yeah, it was a good deal.
So I think it's quarterback, and the only reason why you would trade up that early, top 5 pick, is for a quarterback. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3 is definitely a quarterback.
It's crazy to think that Trevor Lawrence has like a super edge against Zach Wilson. Like the last time we saw a back-to-back quarterback was Jared Goff and Carson Wentz, and it was like who's going to
Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, Andrew Luck, RG3. Like it was 50-50. This isn't. No, it's 100%.
Like Trevor Lawrence and then Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
You think it's gonna be Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
Okay. I think if the Jaguars were smart, I know it's not going to happen, but I think if you keep Minshew and trade that, think about what they could get.
They would get a haul.
Yeah.
Because the 49ers, the Rams traded up to get Jared Goff, and they got a haul.
Yep.
Jared Goff is like a C player.
Yeah.
While Trevor Lawrence is already projected to be like an A+ player.
Yeah, he's like the best prospect since Andrew Luck.
See, that's the thing where everyone says Trevor Lawrence, not you, but like everyone says Trevor Lawrence is the next Andrew Luck. No, Trevor Lawrence is the next Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
That's how good he is.
Yeah.
Like he runs just as well as almost any other quarterback. I guess a good comparison would be Josh Allen with the abilities, but mental-wise, it's like Josh Allen with Peyton Manning mental-wise. Like Trevor Lawrence has been the number 1 quarterback of the 2021 draft since he came out of college, or came out of high school. Because I have like a little clip on ESPN of like high school quarterbacks, and it's Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields really shining out.
Yeah. So you're confident in boom over bust with Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville with the Urban Meyer.
So
Jacksonville, do you think Jacksonville is going number 1 in the division?
It's hard. If they draft well around him, yes.
Okay.
If like
the thing is,
if they get Saxonville again, because think about that, Saxonville went to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, that's good. Blake Bortles
almost beat
that was
Tom
a
Brady.
really good defense.
Blake Bortles.
Yeah,
like
that was a really good defense.
If you put Trevor Lawrence, so that was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
if you would have put Trevor Lawrence from 3 years ago on that Jags team, they would have done better.
Yep.
And that's saying, I think 3 years ago he was in high school.
Meaning Super Bowl.
Yeah, because they almost went right now. Yeah. Jalen Ramsey was prime, AJ Bouye prime, Calais Campbell. They had Yannick Ngakoue. They had
Deshaun Gibson,
something Barry Church.
That was the
Telvin Smith, Paul Posluszny.
Yep.
Who were they went to the Super Bowl like with if Jacksonville went to the Super Bowl that year?
Who the Patriots play? Was it the Rams?
Was it the
Rams? No, that wasn't.
Yeah.
Was it the
Rams?
The
Patriots last went and they played the Rams.
Oh, so they would have went on and faced the Rams.
They probably could have won.
They would have won because the Rams. Todd Gurley had I knew the Rams were going to lose because Todd Gurley was that offense, and he had knee arthritis, and it just happened that year.
Yep.
And I knew my friend's a huge Rams fan, and I told him, don't draft Todd Gurley in fantasy football. Then a year after, like, because if he didn't play in the Super Bowl, it's the Super Bowl, the biggest game of your life. You might not be there ever again. You probably won't be ever again.
Yep.
If he wasn't playing, he's hurt, seriously hurt.
Yep.
And he didn't play, and Todd Gurley's been a bust in fantasy. But I think Trevor Lawrence is definitely a boom if they help him. I don't think I think player-wise.
The thing that makes me nervous is Jacksonville's O-line is so bad. So Trevor Lawrence is used to Clemson. They have a decent O-line. Going from that's what impressed me so much about Minshew too, and he reminds me of Wilson, but not as good of a thrower. But in terms of, he can make those good throws, and his ability to buy time and read offenses while doing it and making like throws on the run, I like him a lot.
I like him. I saw Favre out of him, kind of good in a good way, like reckless, where you just say, I had nothing to lose.
He's willing to take the chance. Yeah.
What else did they also? They also compared Patrick Mahomes to Favre. I think.
I liked Patrick Mahomes a lot before.
Yeah.
Like right when he came out.
I wish I
this
knew.
Arm strength. I'm like, there's arm strength and there's arm strength.
Yeah.
Gunslinging.
And he could run.
Him and Josh Allen both have that.
I didn't like Josh Allen. I don't know why.
I didn't like him either.
I think
I thought he looked sloppy. He looked way too raw.
We didn't see him with any good players. We didn't see him play against good competition.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of the Carson Wentz syndrome.
Yep. And it's a risk. But listen to like Minshew's stats. Like his rookie season, he only started 12 games, and I think he should have won Rookie of the Year.
Who won? What year?
Kyler Murray. I think he had better stats than Kyler.
I'll bite. I want to hear it.
He had 21 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, and that's only playing in 12 games.
21 to 6?
Yeah, that's only playing in starting 12 games.
And that's with no wide receiver core.
Yeah, and a terrible line. And then even this year, he only started in 8 games because he broke his hand, but he had 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
He also broke his hand too.
And he was playing with a broken hand.
Doesn't matter which hand it was, it's impacting his game because he can't hold the ball with his left hand.
And he had torn ligaments in his hand and everything. It wasn't just a broken hand. So, I mean, look at like his career right now. 37 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
I think we all overlook him because he plays on Jacksonville.
I think so, too, and because he was a 6th-round draft pick.
What if he went to Denver?
That's a possibility. They're saying that they want to... So, the 2 main ones I've been hearing is Denver, because they want quarterback competition for Drew Lock. I think he'd win out over Drew Lock. And then Washington is another one.
I was thinking about, too.
Yep.
Like, Fitzpatrick's good. He's good enough.
Yeah.
And Taylor Heineke, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heineke.
In the playoff game, that was fun to watch.
That was that was the best chance out of the playoffs. I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would have lost. I was pulling them so hard.
I didn't bet, but I told my friend, like, look, if there's a game for Tampa Bay to lose, it's this game.
Just underestimating them.
Yes.
Yep, because you're playing on the road in cold Washington.
Yep.
Their defense is really good. And what does Tom Brady struggle with? A bad defensive line. A really good offensive. A really good defensive line where they get in his face.
Yep.
And Washington had a top 2 defense, top 3 defense. Like, DBs were good enough, but that defensive line, even the backups would be starters on anyone else's team.
Yeah.
They had 2 first-round picks. No.
Chase Young didn't touch him though, right?
No, because
the
Buccaneers offensive line did pretty good.
Yeah,
but it was just good. Tom Brady. The wide receivers couldn't really get open. Chris Godwin was dropping balls left, right.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. They were going to lose. That was the game. I had them beating you. I had them beating the Packers. I had them beating the Saints because you know how the NFL is. It loves the drama. There's no way Tom Brady loses twice.
Yeah.
To 3 times to the same team.
Yeah, no, it's really hard to lose 3 times in one season.
Especially to the GOAT. Like, sorry. But you're about to hit her come out. You're going to come out and make it rain. That NFC Championship game was a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Like, the Tampa Bay defense really showed why they're good.
I turned off my TV right when Aaron Jones fumbled the ball when he got hit. I'm like, I'm out. Was a great and then I was like, the game is not over yet. It's not over.
When it's Aaron Rodgers, when it's Aaron Rodgers, it is. When does Aaron Rodgers ever come back from deficits? Aaron Rodgers plays his best when has a lead, but he's never been a good comeback player. I mean, Russell Wilson, I think he literally only has 14 fourth quarter comebacks his whole career. I knew it was over at that point.
See, we could go on.
I'm saying this one
on and on about this.
I will say though, there are.
I mean, yes, the stats do say that he's not good I think there's other factors to it.
Obviously, but I don't know. I've never seen him like come back, especially in a big game like that. I've seen him blow leads.
Is it him or it's the defense?
I think it's both, but when you want to call yourself the GOAT, you can't really make all these excuses.
God.
I think I probably did this.
The G word.
Okay, let's
coming
see.
out.
Is Eli Manning a Hall of
It's getting like.
I will say though, for those games, run wild.
I wish you didn't delete that post.
What?
The one you made on the Stutter After Me account, you were like, Hulkamania, the Packers are coming, and then they lost.
Did Scott take his shirt off? Did Scott rip his shirt off because he's notorious?
Well, no, it was me.
It was just him.
There was a video.
He put a cheese head on, and it was like the day of the NFC Championship, and he was so confident the Packers were gonna win, and he was like, acting like Hulk Hogan, like Tom Brady, the Packers are coming for you. And then they lost, and he deleted the post.
Quick delete on that one. Yeah. I mean, I will say with those playoff games, there are definitely game-changing moments. Like when Jared Cook fumbled against the Saints, I'm like, that's game. Like you're giving Tom Brady the ball back, like an extra offensive.
But the thing is, one play doesn't make a whole game. So like,
but it can.
So like, people take credit away from Brady with the Seahawks, with the Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl. They say like, oh, Malcolm Butler won the game. Yeah, but Tom Brady also had to put 4 touchdowns up and 400 and something yards.
Was that? Yeah, true.
Like before that, so
that's
Malcolm,
that's a luck play though. That was like,
oh yeah, it was luck. It was just
the NFL gods sprinkling some love down there.
Yeah, but like
because Jermaine Kearse made that crazy catch.
Yeah, it was just.
I thought that was the game.
That was the best game I've ever seen. Even though the Seahawks lost, that was such a good game. Like there was 2 like big lead changes, comebacks, and then that Jermaine Kearse catch at the end, and then the Malcolm. It was just like it had everything you want in a football game. Yeah, but. Yeah, I don't know. Just like I don't think one play. So yeah, the Malcolm Butler play like was the one that gets remembered. But you still have to realize Tom Brady put 400 something yards and 4 touchdowns up against the greatest defense of all time.
Yeah, and then that's
so like with the Aaron Rodgers thing. Like Brendan's always like, oh, they lost because of the onside kick. But you have to take but you have to take into consideration that Packers defense also got him 5 turnovers that game, or 5 or 6 turnovers that game, and Aaron Rodgers was only able to score on like 2 of them. So like you have to take credit away from Rodgers there. Like his team, and like I think 4 of the turnovers were in the Packers red zone.
I can rebuttal this. I can, but I choose not to because we'll be here all day.
All day.
We'll be here all day.
But that's just my thing. So yeah, the Bostic one is what's remembered, and it had like an impact on the game. But like also Aaron Rodgers not scoring in those other situations
this year, especially. Sorry.
What?
Didn't the Packers have opportunity to score this year against the Buccaneers?
Yeah.
And they just didn't.
But there was. Off of turnovers, there was 2.
Yeah. Brady had 3 interceptions that game, right?
Yeah.
Jair had 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I think they only got 3 points.
So like when you're the GOAT, like I get it. If you're like if you're Kirk Cousins and you don't like score on that, like I understand that because like our expectations of Kirk Cousins is like low. But when you're like, there's people calling Aaron Rodgers the GOAT, and like his defense is getting him that.
But
like
I think that's why Derek Jeter is such a good player, because when you needed something big to happen, Jeter did deliver.
Yep.
Like there's guys like, I know I'm switching sports, but like A-Rod was a great player in the season.
Yeah.
When push came to shove,
he wasn't good in the big moments.
Yeah.
And that's what
really, he wasn't Jeter. He wasn't what you wanted.
Exactly. And that's what really differentiates like GOAT for me, because Tom Brady has been such a good clutch player. Russell Wilson has been such a good clutch player. I have not seen Aaron Rodgers. I've seen Aaron Rodgers. He's like an A-Rod. He's like an A-Rod. He puts up big numbers. His stats look great. He makes big plays. But even like the Hail Mary plays, they weren't important games.
That's why I say Tom Brady's better than Peyton Manning.
No,
I think so too.
Because Cardinals Hail Mary and the Giants Hail Mary.
The Cardinals was in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, and the Giants were also.
Yeah,
in the
but I mean, and then at the same time, like a Hail Mary is so much luck. Too. Like that's not like necessarily skill.
It is.
The Lions Hail Mary.
Look at this season. Yeah, the Lions one was bullshit too because there were so many missed calls.
It is, but the one against the Lions, I think that there was logic behind, like there was actual like plan on that one. But
that was
like
bullshit.
I don't want to say I don't think the Lions one was bullshit. I think Cardinals one was bullshit, and the Giants one was just.
I think it's more impressive when a quarterback drives down the field, and scores. So like the Vikings Seahawks game this year, remember that Seahawks came back and Russell Wilson drove down the field, scored the DK last second. Then I think that's more impressive and shows a lot more clutchness, then because like with the Hail Mary, it has so much to do with luck. You're just really bombing the ball up and hoping someone comes down with it.
Absolutely.
You're not like organizing and performing a full drive, kind of.
One more thing. I want to talk about one more topic, and I want to talk about Patriots. What do we think?
I think Patriots are going to end up with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Now no, I'm not
logical quarterback to.
I think even though they
Tom Brady
signed
2.0 in skill set, and like there's when
Bill Belichick really liked him. Bill wanted to get rid of Brady and keep Jimmy.
That's yeah.
Like like my question is like, do we think that it's gonna be a lot better than like a lot better this year than last year? Like
yes,
how
just
how
because.
We think?
So
I don't know
if you guys have watched these guys. But it's called I Am Athlete with Cam Newton and not Cam. I'm sorry, Brandon Marshall, the wide receiver, Chad Johnson or Chad Ochocinco.
I've seen a few of those episodes.
Fred Taylor, and they had Cam Newton on, and they were talking to Cam. Cam's like, you have to realize like. There's no preseason.
Yeah.
I'm a new player to a new scheme, a complete new scheme. I also had COVID. He's like, it's one of those things where like, you're on the highway, Route 80, you're flying, flat tire, you pull over, you're out for 20 minutes repairing it. How long does it take for you to get back up to speed?
No, you have to.
Do you ever pass those cars you once passed?
No.
That passed you? No. And that's what Cam Newton described it as.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. Cam never ever caught up to where like, so when he was at 100%, it was week 16 and they're already out. And that's
the thing, though, where I
don't blame Cam. It's more than just touchdowns and interceptions. There's other statistics that I don't really get into that much because it's just boring. But Bill knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
No,
I think Bill's a fine coach.
And they also got a lot more people back from COVID from that defense. You have your linebacker, you have your safety, defensive lineman maybe, some offensive lineman. Like you're getting players back. So it's more than just free agency and draft. You're getting returning players back.
Yeah. The thing, though, where I fault Bill is you knew Brady was getting old. You knew something was going to happen where he either retired or left.
And he didn't
He didn't prepare for the future. And I think the players sitting out...
Barry Lowe.
I think the players sitting out showed that players believe more in Brady than Bill. Yeah. Like, look at Antonio Brown and, like, Gronk came out of retirement just to play with Brady more. Mm-hmm. And Bill Belichick, for some reason, the Patriots had the most sit-outs this season because of COVID. I think if those players really believed they had a chance of winning a Super Bowl that season or doing well, they would have played. And I
like that. That's a good take.
Yeah, I think without Brady, they didn't believe it. I think that's the big reason why there were so many sit-outs for the Patriots.
I think the players like Bill, but I think Bill can be too hard at times, and Gronk is not like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Gronk isn't hardworking, but
there was a fun atmosphere.
There was a report that Gronk was traded to the Lions. And that's when Gronk retired. He's like, all right, then I'm not playing then.
Yeah. I remember him talking about that.
Yeah. Like he's open about it. Mm-hmm. And then of course like Tom Brady and Gronk are buddies.
Yep. Yeah.
I think you have to be mentally ready to play for the Bill. Like you're about to bust your ass. You have 5 a.m.s. You're there all day. Rain.
Yep.
The New England snow, so it's like 25 inches of snow. Like they expect you there. If Bill's there, you should be there.
And then the thing is too, you're not going to get paid well ever.
Yeah. I mean, but you have to like. We talk about this like best roster. Everyone has to buy in, and be like, I'm not going to make the $40 million I would with the Steelers. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make 25.
Yeah,
and it's easy for us to talk because none of us make that. We always say, 25, let's go win.
Yeah.
Some players literally had nothing. Some players slept in cars. Yeah. Some players' mothers are still homeless.
And then a lot of these players don't have anything to do after football, so they have to make their money now.
Yeah.
To invest, to start a business. Yep. Like, I totally get the players wanting the money.
Yep.
But if you're all about winning, do what Tom did.
I think that's another,
do what Ben did. Do
big
what
help.
Ryan did.
I think that's another thing that Belichick got a lot of help with, though, too. He got Brady, the best quarterback of all time, to play for,
I know you want to say the greatest of all time.
He is the greatest of all time. Brady, the
Don't
greatest
be saying,
of all time.
best of all time. I know what you mean.
That's what I meant. But he got to have Brady while only paying him what you would pay like a Kirk Cousins.
To be fair, about Brady not being paid as high, he also is married to a Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. He has a very rich
more than
wife.
He does.
He's able to do it where some players don't have the opportunity as
all
much.
Of his... Not including his clothing line, the TB12 clothing line.
Yeah.
He's also sponsored by Under Armour.
Yeah,
so he's
right.
I know for a fact athletes make more by endorsements than they do.
Yep.
So Brady's like, NFL's chump change, man.
Yeah. No, so Brady has the opportunity to take those pay cuts because of his wife and all these other things, But Bill Belichick got to reap the benefits of it.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
so hard for a coach to build a balanced team when you have to pay, like how the Seahawks have to pay $35 million to Russ and the Packers have to pay $35 million to Rodgers. But like Belichick got to operate while paying the greatest quarterback of all time.
That's true.
A salary that you would have been paying a quarterback like Kirk Cousins.
That's true.
So that's a huge help to him. So I think the Patriots are going to be better this season, or at least the same. I don't think they're going to go downhill.
I think they'll be better.
But I don't. They're doing a lot in free agency, but I don't know how much credit it will be to Bill. I think they're just like kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, but wouldn't we always say like, who's better, Brady or Belichick? Who made the team?
Well, there's
no Brady.
He always says that
there's Belichick now.
Yeah.
So if they do well, okay. The real answer is they both made the team work.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's just what percentage do you give each, kind of? Because I'm more so, I give Brady like 70% of the credit and Bill 30%, whereas Brendan's like the opposite.
Mine's like a coin flip between them, 50-50.
I'm not going to make sense here, and I'm copying from I Am Athlete. 50% Brady, 55% Bill. Bill had that other 5%.
Or 40, you mean 45?
No, I mean 55. I know the math doesn't add up. It's 105% because that's why they were so good.
Oh,
they were steamrolling. They had they had 2 decades where they were just destroying whoever they came across. Yeah. And yes, Brady did very well, no doubt. Brady was definitely half of it, but Bill was half and then some because of just
But I think Brady showed this season though, like how important he is to a team because
we can go on and on about this.
Quarterback. If I had to design before Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, if I had to create a quarterback in the lab, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Getting it done.
That's his biggest flaw.
It's not even the clutch because I don't want to use that word with clutch. That's different. Getting it done. I don't know. It's just it's that Kobe factor. It's that Mamba factor, And while Rodgers has it, I think Brady was just a step above.
Yeah.
And if you want to say surrounding him with a team, those players came on after him, and you can't really.
Well, yeah, you're talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, you brought up a good.
Like Fournette was signed like a week before the season kicked off. Yeah. There was no preseason, and Fournette played like trash until like week 8, where he kind of turned it up.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin had just developed that year. Mike Evans was Mike Evans, but that line became good this year because they made a good draft pick. And players that were drafted lived up to potential.
You brought up a good point with that because like I was like I don't know about draft.
Tristan Wirfs was their 8th pick, and then I liked him a lot. He's probably my favorite prospect. He's so athletic, but I'm like, you could playing Monday morning quarterback. Yeah, Brady did step into a good team, but they weren't a good team when he stepped into it.
Yeah,
they were developing to a good team, and you can't tell. You could always develop and then fall off. Mm-hmm. Like Sam kind of did. Sam showed potential. We're like, oh, Sam's living up. Sam had never lived up.
So, like, what like you're arguing is that that he didn't purposely go on to a team that was good, which I say like that he did.
They were good, but they weren't as good.
They had potential.
Yeah, it was you were buying into the potential, and I think every free agent should do that. So you can't criticize a man.
But like you're not arguing at the fact that he had
they weren't a proven team.
Yeah, it's not like he went and it was like, oh, this is like...
If he went to the Colts, that would be different. Because the Colts were already, like, win now. Tampa wasn't win now. Tampa was close, and then they did win now. Because Jameis Winston was a beast in Tampa. He just turned the ball over. Yeah, Tom doesn't turn the ball
But
over.
even though he was playing great, too, like, he was playing very explosive and, like, was putting up numbers, like, they were still losing games.
Yeah. Their defense... I know they were ranked like top 10 last year, but Jameis would turn the ball over so much that the defense would get kind of worn out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shaq Barrett was a good player, but their secondary was awful, and their secondary kind of turned it up.
Mm-hmm.
And they drafted Antoine Winfield.
Yep.
Like players did their job, which is what the Patriots players always do. Do your job and you'll win.
Yep.
And I guess Tom
he brought the culture.
Like he brought another energy.
Yes,
I think he brought the best out of them. I think having Brady on the team just motivated them. I think they really believed that they had a shot. I think Brady being on the team brought in like Gronk. It brought in.
But don't
Antonio
you think
Brown.
that light is being transferred from the Patriots, say from Bill?
No, because I think they built that culture together,
yeah.
And I think Brady had more to do with that culture.
And I think the Packers won't let Rodgers do that. If the front office won't do that.
I don't think Rodgers has an interest in doing that. I think Rodgers is more so... Brady, I think, is all about winning. I think Rodgers is all about more so the spotlight. I think he cares about winning, but I don't think he has that same Michael Jordan, Kobe mentality as Brady, like you said.
I think Rodgers wants to win.
I think so.
I don't think he puts in as much work though. Like Brady is on a crazy diet. Brady invests millions of dollars into his body each year. Rodgers doesn't
ever say he doesn't do that. Like,
but the thing is, you see Rodgers. You still see Rodgers. He says he drinks alcohol after every game and stuff like that. Like Brady doesn't touch alcohol until I think this year was like the first year he touched alcohol. Like because he's willing to like put all that work and make those sacrifices.
Yeah, kind of like what LeBron does. LeBron just is a psycho when it comes to sticking strict to how to his life. Not even like eating wise, but like LeBron probably is never going out to bars.
Yeah. No,
you know, bars lead to trouble.
Yeah, and Rodgers isn't willing to give up that life.
Yeah, I know.
Or make those sacrifices.
Rodgers probably isn't going out, but
I don't think Rodgers has a chance of
lasting. Like now we're going to off-field stuff.
Yeah.
But that has to do with his mentality.
Oh, you're talking about the mentality.
Yeah, and like that Mamba mentality.
I mean, no doubt, Tom Brady has the mentality over Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
like Peyton and Brady are two different. Like, did Peyton have that Mamba mentality? Can we honestly say that? It's hard because no one has said yes.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about it. Brady, you have Jordan, Kobe, Brady. I know baseball, Jeter. Yeah. They're just guys who had it.
I think Russell Wilson's up doing that too. He's up there. Him, LeBron, Brady, and Russ are the three that spend the most on their body.
I know some people that don't.
I'm not ready to say Russ yet. Not yet. Because he's still, Brady, Peyton, Rodgers, kind of in their mid 30s are still proving to be really good. Russ is just getting to his mid 30s. Yeah. I think he's 31?
31 or 32.
So he's just getting there. That's why I'm confident in Dak because these great quarterbacks. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
It took a while.
Yeah.
Dak, you have that cool composure. That's basically what it is. And I think Russ has that.
I think he has the potential to get there.
I have Rodgers at that Peyton Manning level.
I don't. Okay. See, I think
it's hard to tell. Sometimes yes, and sometimes it's like the front office isn't helping him. Mm-hmm. And that's where the difference is. Like, because Brady, at one point, yes, Brady had Moss, and they were a great team. But at one point, Brady had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk before we knew who they were.
Yeah.
You could say the same with Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams and whatnot, but like,
that's why
it's just apples to oranges.
Yeah.
Because they're two different types of players. Yeah. Two different front offices.
Two different styles, even.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers has more talent than Brady. Mm-hmm. But so I would say Rodgers, depending on how Russell Wilson does at the end of his career, I think Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback of all time. But I think greatness has a lot more to do with it, and that's where you start taking in those aspects of mentality, like the Mamba mentality, like what you want to do to win, how you perform in those big moments. So,
would you say Steph Curry has that Mamba mentality? I'm not.
I don't.
But I think he's a Hall of Famer if he retires today.
I do too.
He changed the game.
Yeah, he did. But that's like...
There's a difference.
That's another reason why I think Russ is so great, because I think Russell Wilson changed the game. Russell Wilson was...
He's more running than Aaron Rodgers.
And Russell Wilson opened up the door for those quarterbacks that are under 6 foot.
Yes.
So like Kyler Murray, if it wasn't for Russ, Kyler Murray might not have ever gotten a chance to draft, let alone be a first overall pick.
So true.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying Baker's a great quarterback.
Yeah, but it gave him the opportunity to be
absolutely
drafted and to make a name for himself.
That's why I think it's apples and oranges, because, a good quarterback, I guess you can compare to Rodgers. Or, I don't know. It's hard because quarterbacks today are just like Russ.
Yeah.
Maybe Dak. I compare, in the sense of they're good. Dak isn't all about running, but can he run?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Josh Allen's really good at running. Aaron Rodgers isn't really good at running. He's good enough. Dak's good enough.
Yeah.
Cam Newton is like Lamar Jackson. Like, it's just all these different types of quarterbacks, and it's hard to compare the top all together. Mm-hmm. Like Brady and Peyton, you can make the comparison because they're similar.
Yeah, very
they
similar.
They weren't running; they were lead foot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Phil Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger. No, Ben could move.
He can move, hard. But I feel like it's like a trucking ability.
It's like
he's almost like a lineman.
Exactly, it's like a dump truck.
Yeah,
like he'll get there.
I think we need to click save on this. this is some good stuff, but we have 2 cameras out.
Yeah.
And we're like
we might have
3
to do
hours.
Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
I think this was the longest. This was the longest.
This is the longest.
And we still like could talk for
we could
hours.
we could go more and more into like football and legacies and all that.
Mike, we would definitely want you back, definitely before the season starts for football.
I'm good
if you can do that.
Did Scott talk to you about? I'd be interested in doing like pick'ems with.
Oh
you.
Yes, pick'ems. Yeah. I was actually thinking about that during this podcast. Yeah, so I'm thinking about getting like a bunch of people to do pick'ems. And just like have like they don't have to be on the podcast like every episode, but like just send the pics over
like a text,
and then like we'll do like a trophy at like the very end or something like that.
Absolutely.
or like a
like a trophy for winning last year.
You gotta mention.
Oh yeah,
man. Take it and run.
You'll always be known as the inaugural
first winner.
Yeah, the first
ever winner,
the first and only.
Yeah, true.
First winner.
I'm the one who brought up doing like a bracket thing to like put in for pick'ems.
Yeah,
and hoping that I would go above and beyond Morgan, but instead it just doesn't.
It almost like Scott catch up to you.
Yeah, I did so bad. I did so bad.
Scott.
All right, well, that does it. Thank you, Mike, for coming on to our podcast and talking about the NFL draft and everything like that.
We gotta do it soon.
We have a lot of content.
There's still so much more to talk about. We didn't even touch Deshaun Watson.
I know.
We didn't touch
Russ trades and stuff,
and we didn't really do much about
free agents,
who we think is gonna do well.
The up and coming teams.
Yeah, but like that would be great for before the season starts.
Absolutely.
So, we thank you, Mike, and hopefully you'll be back with us soon and
thank you, gentlemen.
The preseason and everything. All right, well, everyone, have a great night, and thank you for tuning in for this long ass podcast. See you later. Wow.